Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from carnivorous worms that will eat their own mothers right after birth to evidence of Bigfoot's true diet that may just leave you shocked. Ready? Let's jump in.
Oh my gosh.
I know I believe
He's talking.
So I wasn't crazy.
No!
This bird is talking.
What the heck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
What else could it say?
I don't know. I don't even know
Tweet,
what
tweet,
he's
tweet.
saying. Tweet.
You guys.
The bird is actually...
It is talking, I swear to God.
Two girls woke up in the morning to find an unexpected visitor on the roof of their car, a bird. But here's the thing, the bird was talking, and it wasn't a parrot. The bird kept repeating a phrase that sounded like, dig a tunnel. At first, I thought this might be some kind of government surveillance bird. You know, one of those conspiracy theories about fake birds being used to spy on people. But after doing a bit of research, I found out there's a much simpler explanation. It turns out there are other birds besides parrots that can learn to mimic human speech, and one of them is the mynah bird. Mynah birds are known for their abilities to learn and replicate sounds they hear frequently, including human speech. They're quite the chatterboxes and can be trained to speak just like parrots. So while it might seem strange and even a little creepy to find a talking bird on your car, it's just nature being fascinating. The next time you hear a bird talking, don't jump to conclusions about spy birds. Just appreciate the wonders of the animal kingdom.
What the heck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
While at sea, on higher ground, someone captured something moving in the water below. It was long blonde hair swirling and making calculated movements on the water's surface. The owner of the hair was, however, nowhere to be seen, but judging by the waves and ripples around the hair, it was evident that something was swimming underneath with hair attached to it. Could this really be a mermaid down there, or is there a more logical explanation? The movements seem too coordinated and the hair too distinct to be just a human swimming, but then again, it could be my bias of wanting to see a mermaid. So what's your take? A genuine mermaid sighting, or just a swimmer with exceptionally long hair? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Imagine walking into your room and seeing a black cat doing this. Given how people often feel about black cats and associating them with superstitions and bad luck, you know anyone seeing this wouldn't be happy. This prompted the lady in question to start recording, and it only got worse with time. As you can see in the footage, the cat begins to twitch with its neck stretched out in an unusual manner. The woman understandably gets scared and keeps her distance while continuing to record. A commenter mentioned that the cat might be having a seizure, which is a plausible explanation for the strange behavior. Seizures in cats can look quite alarming, with twitching, muscle contractions, and unusual postures. If this is indeed a seizure, then this is sad. Are there any cat lovers or vets here? Can you confirm if we're dealing with a cat acting evil, or one that needed its owners and they ran away? There are lots of strange lights in the sky that have led to many tales and speculation. Mostly it's alien related, or skeptics believe it's just some sort of hologram display. Take a look at this one, however. There are orange orbs in a line in the sky. The orbs seem to be appearing in a strange line, and as the ones behind vanish, the line appears to move. The way the orbs vanish and reappear in sequence creates a sense of purposeful motion that's hard to explain with conventional means. One popular theory is that these lights are of extraterrestrial origin. Many UFO sightings involve orbs of light, often described as moving in ways that defy conventional aircraft capabilities. Could these orange orbs be an alien craft moving through our atmosphere, or is this one possibly observing and even attempting to communicate with us? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Did you know stars can die? Someone captured a video of a bluish light in the sky resembling a splash of color. This phenomenon is related to the life cycle of stars, which are powered by nuclear fusion. Gravity holds stars together, counteracting the immense pressure from fusion reactions. This bluish light represents a star in its final moments, a spectacular cosmic event known as a supernova. When a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it can no longer sustain the pressure needed to counteract the force of gravity. The star then collapses in on itself, resulting in a massive explosion that releases an immense amount of energy, creating that brilliant splash of color you see in the sky. The remnants of these stellar explosions often form beautiful nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust that can eventually give birth to new stars. While this is beautiful, it's also a bit sad. It made me go out and look at our bright orange sun, wondering when that would also decide to give up on us. Call Elon a madman, but maybe, just maybe, he might be onto something that might save the entire human race in the near future. Think about it. Now look at this, a video of a bull-headed sea lion. Yes, you heard that right. The creature has the body of a sea lion and the head of a bull, complete with horns and all. This bizarre creature is certainly a sight to behold. The juxtaposition of a sea lion's sleek aquatic body with the rugged, horned head of a bull creates an image straight out of mythology or science fiction. But in our age of advanced technology, such creations are often more digital than biological. AI and digital manipulation tools have become increasingly sophisticated, allowing artists and creators to blend reality and fantasy seamlessly. This bull-headed sea lion might be an example. What do you think? A mother was out with her kids enjoying a day in nature when the children came running to tell her they'd seen something strange among the leaves. When she went over to take a look, she saw it, a bizarre-looking caterpillar with a human-like face. The creature was just lying there, staring right back at them. The shocked mother posted the footage online and it quickly went viral. Most internet users speculated wildly, with many saying it was probably an alien baby. Some commenters suggested it might be a rare, undiscovered species, while others thought it could be a caterpillar mutated by environmental factors. What are your thoughts on this? Here we have a close-up of someone's thigh and the muscles are twitching intensely. This is definitely muscle spasms and it looks very painful. To provide some context, muscle spasms or muscle cramps are sudden, involuntary contractions of a muscle or group of muscles. They can be extremely painful and may last for a few seconds to several minutes. These spasms can occur in any muscle in the body, but are most common in the legs, particularly the thighs and calves. There are many potential causes for muscle spasms. They can be triggered by overuse of the muscle during physical activity, dehydration, or a lack of minerals such as potassium or magnesium. In some cases, that might be linked to medical conditions like nerve compression, insufficient blood supply, or even certain medications. Seeing muscle spasms up close like this really highlights how intense and uncomfortable they can be. Have you ever had a muscle spasm? What was it like, and how did you deal with it? A woman by the name of Mandy from Massachusetts took to social media to share some haunting footage she captured on a door-ring camera. According to her account, she lives near the forest and has been hearing and experiencing strange things in her home. So she set up the camera to capture whatever it was. Take a look and listen carefully. There are strange scratching sounds and noises from something. It's like a grunt of some sort, but not really human. Most people are speculating that there could be a skinwalker out there, while some say it might be a Bigfoot, but skeptics just think she's making up the whole story. Personally, I don't think so, because at one point she even has to get the police involved. I doubt someone just making false stories for social media would go as far as getting the cops involved, unless, of course, she's that determined to come off as genuine. So what do you think we're dealing with here? Are these sounds evidence of a skinwalker or Bigfoot, or is there a more rational explanation? Share your thoughts. A rural farmer had set up a trail camera on his property to monitor activity and see what came and went. The first few weeks had been uneventful until one day he discovered he'd captured something far more unsettling than he anticipated. In the image, there was a ghostly figure in a robe. The entity looked hazy, almost as if it were in motion, leaving a trail of blurred movement in the photo. The farmer was shocked and disturbed by what he saw. He then uploaded it online, seeking answers. Others, however, thought it was just a person running, which could explain the ghostly appearance of the figure in the image. It's interesting considering the possibilities of what this could be. Trail cameras often capture wildlife, but sometimes they seem to pick up things that defy conventional explanation. This particular image adds to the growing collection of mysterious sightings captured by such cameras. So what do you think? Ghost or human? Share your thoughts and any similar experiences you might have had. We'd love to hear what you think about this spooky sighting. A security guard was working the late-night shift when he started to hear and feel strange things around him. Curious and a bit unsettled, he took out his camera and ventured into the hallway to investigate. As he panned his camera around, he captured something truly chilling. By that object over there, a dark figure appeared from the corner and peeked at him before vanishing. It was as if the figure was aware of being watched and quickly disappeared into the shadows. The footage shows a moment that would send shivers down anyone's spine. The figure's sudden appearance and disappearance are both mysterious and unsettling. What could this be? Was it a trick of the light, a shadow, or something more sinister? The guard was understandably spooked, and others who have seen the footage are just as baffled. What do you think this dark figure could be? In Mexico, a giant anomaly was spotted on the radar. This mysterious phenomenon appeared in the night sky and looked so out of this world that it quickly captured everyone's attention. It was a circle of light with smaller orbs, all shaped like saucers, creating an almost otherworldly display. People who witnessed it in real life were stunned, and the radar images only added to the intrigue. Some believe that this is just some sort of energy phenomenon, possibly related to natural atmospheric conditions, but others are convinced that this is a UFO or alien-related, pointing to the distinct shapes and unusual behavior of the lights. What do you think? Is this an example of advanced alien technology visiting our planet, or could there be a more mundane explanation for these mysterious lights? There have been various depictions of UFOs around the world, each adding to the fascination with these unexplained phenomena. In this particular footage, we see what looks like a bent white sheet floating in the sky. This strange object isn't high up, but is instead floating quite close to the ground, adding to the eerie nature of the sighting. No one knows for sure what it could be. Some say it's a UFO, pointing to the unusual shape and low altitude as evidence. Others suggest it might be some sort of weird cloud formation, a natural but rare occurrence in the atmosphere. Skeptics, however, argue that it could simply be edited footage, a digital trick meant to stir up intrigue and excitement. What do you think it is?
Minute encounter between a glowing blue barbell-shaped UFO, half the length of a football field in size, that came from 3 witnesses, including a Pentagon engineering contractor. This happened in southwestern Ontario in August 2013, about 11 years ago. One of the witnesses describing an indigo plasma that covered most of this craft, claiming the craft rotated slowly for about 6 or 7 minutes while emitting an electrical spark-like shower. One witness attempted to film the craft with his camera phone, only to get static when he did, despite the camera working before and after the encounter.
Back in 2013 in southwestern Ontario, 3 people witnessed a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. One of the witnesses was a Pentagon official engineer, adding credibility and intrigue to the sighting. According to their accounts, there was a barbell-shaped craft in the sky. The initial photo taken was grainy, making it hard to discern details. However, after the image was enhanced and worked on, this is what they came up with. The barbell shape is unusual and unlike any known aircraft, which has fueled speculation and debate. Some suggest it could be a military secret project, while others lean toward the possibility of extraterrestrial origin. What do you think? Could this be an advanced human-made craft, or is it something from another world? A hiker who'd wandered a little too far into the woods came across something truly strange. Nestled among the trees was one that was twisted like a pretzel. But from the look of this, it doesn't seem like the tree naturally grew that way. Instead, it appears as if something huge twisted up the tree. What could have caused this? Many have speculated that such twists and bends in trees could be the signs of Bigfoot's presence, marking their territory or communicating with others. Others think it might be the result of powerful weather phenomenon or even human activity. Local legends and folklore often speak of creatures with immense strength, capable of bending trees and moving boulders. Could this twisted tree be another piece of evidence supporting these stories, or is there a more scientific explanation that we haven't considered yet? Share your thoughts.
Este se ve mejor. Fíjate. Ajá. Se fue. Para que veamos cuando sigamos. Para que vean de que no. Si alguien puede ver que se va, no se va. Ahí lo entramos a buscar.
Ahí se ve como una calavera.
Aparece, ajá.
Yo te decía dónde.
Y desapareció. Desapareció. Chao.
A resident in San Juan province took this footage late at night when everyone else had retired to bed. The residents were about to go to sleep when they noticed a strange person standing in front of their house. From the second floor, the camera looked down at the mysterious figure. This strange person was dressed in a dark shirt and trousers. What made the scene even more eerie was that the intruder seemed to be holding something and, upon blowing on it, caused flames to emit. The flames danced for a moment before the person made them vanish, leaving the observer in awe and confusion. The figure's actions and appearance sure don't resemble a normal human. The resident, understandably shaken, shared the footage online where it sparked a flurry of theories and speculations. Some viewers suggested it could be a street performer or someone playing a prank, but the eerie silence of the night and the mysterious behavior led many to believe something more sinister was at play. What do you think? Could this strange figure be a practitioner of dark arts, an entity from another realm, or simply an elaborate hoax?
Fíjate. Ajá.
Se fue.
This looks like a giant rug with a strange image of some sort of god on it. There are people all around taking pictures and videos as the rug gracefully ascends into the sky. What are we looking at here? Could it be some sort of traditional cultural practice or perhaps an impressive piece of artwork? The scene is captivating and puzzling. The image on the rug appears to be intricately designed, possibly depicting a deity or a mythical figure, which suggests it might be part of a religious or cultural ceremony. The way it moves, almost as if it has a life of its own, adds to the spectacle and mystery. Some commenters believe it could be a modern art installation utilizing advanced technology to create an illusion of flight. Others speculate it might be a part of a local festival or a traditional event that incorporates such fascinating displays. What do you guys think? Here we have a hand holding a green bell pepper, but there's something unusual inside the vegetable. The thumb presses into the pepper, exposing a small hole, and you can see something moving inside. After a moment, something emerges. It's a huge brown insect with a black spot on its head. This insect is called Acamidrata tessellata. Discovering an insect inside your food is always unsettling, but this particular find is both fascinating and creepy. While entomologists might enjoy this, the everyday person would not. The Archimandrita tessellata, or giant peppered roach, while beautiful, can be scary if you hate bugs. Nonetheless, its large size and distinctive markings make it a striking and memorable sight. Bell peppers, like many fruits and vegetables, can sometimes harbor insects that burrow inside, looking for a safe place to hide or feed. It's a natural part of the ecosystem, though it's definitely startling to come across such a visitor in your produce. Imagine this. You walk into your bathroom to take a shower, only to find this eerie scene. The shower head is floating in the air, water streaming out, moving like some sort of snake while the cord dangles and slithers in the air. The person who took this footage was understandably spooked at first. Somehow, despite how spooky it looked, they recorded the strange sight, capturing the unnerving way the shower head seemed to defy gravity and logic. After having enough of this bizarre and unsettling experience, they bravely hit the showerhead and it came crashing down. Talk about freaky. The question on everyone's mind is this real? The one who uploaded it insists it's real, but everyone else thinks it's edited footage. What do you also think? Ever encountered something this bizarre in your own home? Let us know in the comments section. Humans are one of the most cunning and dangerous creatures in the world, and this could very well be our downfall.
There's some kind of object that's suspended in the air. It's hard to tell, it's pretty small.
Recently, military whistleblower Danny Sheehan came forward with some startling information. The US military is allegedly deploying soldiers to seek out alien technology and bring it back for their own use. It's no wonder they have been evasive when asked about alien control and UFOs. They want to harness alien tech to gain military dominance around the world. But if you ask me, this seems like a recipe for disaster. On one hand, the potential benefits of such technology could be enormous, leading to advancements in medicine, energy, and more. However, the risks are equally significant. By attempting to take alien technology, we may be provoking entities that are far more advanced than us. It's like a modern-day Pandora's box. Once opened, the consequences could be catastrophic. The possibility of a retaliatory strike from these extraterrestrial beings is not something to be taken lightly. What do you think about these revelations, though? Do you believe we should be pursuing alien technology, or is it too dangerous?
There's some kind of object that's suspended in the air. It's hard to tell, it's pretty small.
Have you ever wondered about the eating habits of a Sasquatch? Most accounts suggest they eat berries and fruits. Deer hunters also report spotting the creatures lingering around their hunting sites after a kill, and people often find deer carcasses around Bigfoot hotspots. Is this all hinting that these ape-like humanoids are omnivorous, meaning that they eat both plants and animals like humans do? Reports from eyewitnesses and researchers often describe Sasquatch foraging for berries, nuts, and other fruits in the wild. This aligns with the diet of many large primates who rely on vegetation for sustenance. The presence of berry bushes and fruit trees in areas with frequent Sasquatch sightings supports this theory. However, the reports from deer hunters add an intriguing layer to our understanding. Hunters have observed Sasquatch near their hunting grounds, sometimes after a kill, suggesting that these creatures might scavenge or even hunt for meat. The discovery of deer carcasses in Bigfoot hotspots strengthens the argument that Sasquatch may have a diverse diet, including animal proteins. If Sasquatch is indeed omnivorous, this dietary flexibility could explain how they survive in various environments, from dense forests to mountainous regions. Our next clip is a tad disturbing and comes from a trail cam that has been left in the woods. Take a look. There was a strange man in a scary clown mask roaming through the forest. When he noticed the camera, he moved closer and put his face right up to the lens before continuing his eerie and creepy walk through the woods. Looking at how late it was, I don't think this clown is up to any good. Clowns, already a common fear for many, became even more terrifying when found lurking in dark, remote woods. The fact that he noticed the camera and deliberately approached suggests a level of awareness and perhaps even a desire to be seen. The isolated setting of the forest, combined with the late hour, makes this encounter particularly disturbing. It also raises several questions. Who is this person? What is he or she doing out there? And what are his or her intentions? So someone sent us this clip. At first we didn't know what to make of it, but after watching it over and over and over again, it appears to show recurrent shapes that appear in nature. It's supposed to be some big mystery with possibly some giant and alien origins, but we seem to be missing it. Can you be of any help? Meet the caecilian. These are often mistaken for giant worms due to their appearance, but they're actually limbless amphibians. Caecilians are fascinating creatures that many people have never heard of. They look like a cross between a worm and a snake, with smooth, segmented bodies that can grow quite large. Unlike worms, caecilians have a backbone, making them more closely related to frogs and salamanders. These mysterious amphibians live primarily underground or in aquatic environments, which is why they're rarely seen by humans. Caecilians have unique adaptations that help them thrive in their hidden habitats. For example, they have a strong bony skull that allows them to burrow through soil or sediment with ease. There's a popular rumor that the babies eat their mothers, but that's not quite true. While caecilian babies do not eat their mothers in the typical sense, they do exhibit a fascinating behavior known as dermatophagy, where the young feed on the mother's skin. In certain oviparous caecilian species, the mother grows a special nutrient-rich layer of skin after the eggs hatch, which the young scrape off and consume with specialized teeth. This skin-feeding behavior provides essential nutrients for the growing young and helps them develop more quickly. The mother is not harmed as the specialized skin regenerates, ensuring she continues to nourish her offspring until they are ready to fend for themselves. This unique form of parental care is a remarkable adaptation that aids in the survival of the young in environments where food may be scarce. Interesting, right? What do you see when you look at this clip? I'm not the only one seeing these two blue blips, right? They remain stationary in the sky and do not move for the entire time this is being filmed. The only change visible is toward the last few minutes of the clip, where they change color from blue to white. Now, this has everyone in my team wondering, is this true footage, or is someone trying to pull a fast one on us? If this is true footage, what are they doing up there, and are we even safe? Take a look at these rocks at a waterfall and tell me what you see. The rocks are all shaped like snakes, giant snakes. Each and every one of these rocks looks like a giant serpent. Their forms are so precise and lifelike that it's hard to believe they could be natural. What could this mean? Were these massive snakes really existent at some point and ended up petrified or carved in by humans, or is this just a remarkable coincidence of natural formation? The idea of petrified giant snakes brings to mind ancient myths and legends where creatures of such magnitude once roamed the earth. Some cultures believe that petrification is a form of punishment or protection, turning living beings into stone. If these rocks are indeed remnants of giant snakes, it could lend credence to those old tales. On the other hand, nature has a way of surprising us with its creativity. Erosion, mineral deposits, and other geological processes can create astonishing shapes that mimic living forms. These snake-like rocks could be an example of pareidolia, where our minds interpret familiar patterns in random formations. On second thought, the subsequent formations are too intentional to have been created by natural means. My money is either on art by earlier civilizations or petrification. What say you? Next, we got a celebrity, or rather criminal elephant that appears to have caused a traffic jam on the road. We've seen elephants beg for snacks from drivers in regions like this, but never have we seen one so intent on damaging or sitting on a vehicle. What do you think could have prompted the big guy to do something like this? An act of vengeance, perhaps elephants don't forget? Or is this big guy just being petty and wanting to sit on the vehicle? Frankly speaking, it's hard to say, but what does your power of deduction tell you about this clip? That's the Motorola Rollable Phone. This device features a display that wraps around the bottom of the phone. The rolled-up screen can automatically extend outwards to create a larger display for all of your needs, whether it's watching videos, multitasking, or browsing the web. When you don't need the extra screen space, it rolls away, providing a convenient second screen for quick notifications, controls, or even a compact view for messaging. The way it seamlessly transitions between a compact form and a larger display is fascinating. The flexible OLED technology and the innovative mechanism behind the rolling action make it stand out in the ever-evolving smartphone market. What do you think about this futuristic design? Would you be excited to use a rollable phone, or do you prefer traditional or foldable smartphones? For this footage, I'm tempted to say so much, but perhaps I should let you do the talking on this one. You see the creature swimming, right? Do you have any idea of what creature or animal it could possibly be? Personally, I can't tell, but the uploader of the footage believes it's either a hippo or a mermaid. Yeah, you heard right, a hippo or a mermaid. Now, before you pick one of these two, you should know that the footage was recorded in the ocean. And, well, you're more likely to find and hang out with a mermaid than you are to find a hippo swimming in the ocean. But with that said, I'd like to ask, what do you think that creature was? Speaking of ginormous creatures, have a good look at this next one. Yup, that's an actual wolf, and no, it's not a normal-sized wolf, but a gigantic one. In the footage, the wolf looks like it's roaming the area the footage was taken and having fun. In the initial seconds of the footage, it looks like it's a normal size, but as the one filming gets closer and the wolf draws night, it becomes apparent that's no normal wolf. But are there any records of wolves that size? Well, we didn't actually think so, but it turns out there's actually a cryptid known as the saber wolf or wahila that's known to inhabit the northern western part of the United States. And guess where this footage was reportedly taken? Alaska. And yes, it's in the northwestern part of the United States. So do you think we're dealing with the real thing, or could something else be going on here? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you do live in Alaska, could you confirm if you have seen these things or at least heard the rumors about them? We'd love to hear from you, even if it's a no. When I hear fairies, I think of Tinkerbell and her crew, quite a huge contrast from what was captured in this footage. This footage was taken by a group of kids who went playing at the playground. While playing near a tree, their attention was drawn to a peculiar creature fluttering in the air, resembling what they initially thought was a dragonfly. Driven by curiosity, the brave kids made the daring decision to climb the tree and get a closer look at the intriguing insect. Little did they know they were in for an unexpected surprise. A humanoid creature flew off of the tree, and they realized all too soon that what they thought to be a dragonfly was an ugly-looking little creature. Scared, they climbed down and ran away. Unlike the CGI goblin, this creature looks much more realistic. Could that be what fairies look like? Have we been misled by Disney to believe that dangerous creatures are actually cute? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Take a look at this image. What do you see? Almost everyone in our team who saw this thought it was some exotic cat. But would you believe us if we told you it was a raccoon? Yes, you heard that correctly, a raccoon. According to the owner of this Trailcam capture, it's an odd-looking raccoon that's often spotted in the area where the Trailcam was placed. They initially thought it was some paranormal creature, but later found out it was just a raccoon suffering from leucism. For those unfamiliar with that condition, it's a rare genetic mutation that affects the pigmentation of an animal's fur or scales or feathers. And that, not the paranormal, is the reason the raccoon you see looks the way it does. But do tell us, which type is your favorite? The usual dark raccoon or this exotic white-looking one? Continuing our exploration of intriguing little beings, feast your eyes on this upcoming footage. Did you catch that? As the footage begins, the cameraman approaches a tree, their hands trembling visibly. But don't jump to conclusions, it's not Parkinson's at play. Instead, it appears the camera is zoomed in to the absolute maximum. After a few moments, the cameraman's fascination becomes evident. Some black fingers appear on the tree, hiding a body behind them. Despite the cameraman's best attempts, we never see the body. In the last few seconds, however, two glowing eyes hidden within the trees look at him. And so a veil of uncertainty shrouds the scene, leaving us pondering. What manner of creature could this be? Someone in the comments section of the original post states that it's an Ewok. If you've watched Star Wars, you should know what they are, but some commentators more grounded in reality stated it was a raccoon. I'm tempted to lean in with the raccoon hypothesis, but what do you think? Stepping away from the world of amazing giant animals, let's take a step into what many consider the paranormal realm. It starts off like your ordinary trail cam footage of the forest landscape at night. The dead silence of the night, however, makes it clear that we should expect more, and we are not disappointed. From nowhere, a creature of the night emerges, moving on all fours. My initial reaction? A skinwalker, perhaps. But alas, skinwalkers aren't exactly known for their slender frames. TS unsettling movements reveal it's no skinwalker, but rather a contender for something even more unsettling, a possible rake. The skinny long arms and the possibly white and smooth skin make us think that this is the case. But is it really? Well, would like your opinion on this one, so what do you think? In Chinese culture, dragons are a spiritual symbol of strength, good luck, and the yang. Legend has it that dragons are serpentine creatures capable of breathing fire and soaring through the skies. For centuries, dragons were deemed mythical creatures. However, in 2017, everything changed when a dragon-like skeleton was unearthed in a Chinese town. The skeletal remains possess a serpentine form, encapsulating the very essence of the fabled dragon. As news of this extraordinary finding spread worldwide, people were left astounded, grappling with the question of whether this was indeed the real deal. Skeptics chimed in, suggesting the possibility of an elaborate hoax, with claims that the bones could have been meticulously arranged to mimic a dragon's form using fragments from other animals. It's rumored that scientists came around to inspect the bones and take them to their labs for testing, but no result has been released yet, which leaves this a mystery. What do you think, though? Still on unexplained images, take a look at this Trailcam capture. At first glance, it looks like an everyday picture of the woods, but take a closer look. There's a big, furry creature moving in the background just behind the trees. Is it possible that we're looking at a bear, a gorilla, or perhaps another type of ape? A closer examination, and you'd realize that whatever the creature is, it's definitely not any of these animals. It appears to walk upright with a human-like gait. Judging by its height in relation to the trees, it could be said that the creature is also quite tall. I'm convinced that we're dealing with a cryptid here, and only one fits the bill: Bigfoot. But what do you think? Now let's journey to the enchanting swamps of southwestern Florida. Behold this captivating footage showcasing the effortless grace of a massive alligator gliding through the water, a truly majestic spectacle. When it comes to modern creatures that resemble a prehistoric lineage of dinosaurs, my hairs stand on end. The alligator captured in this footage is a prime example. If this doesn't give you shivers, I'm not sure what will. Fix your gaze on this scene. The alligator's eyes emit an eerie luminescence, casting an uncanny aura. At first glance, you might even wonder if it's some malevolent entity manifesting in our realm, but rest assured, the reality is far less sinister. This luminosity is attributed to a specialized layer called the tapetum lucidum, situated at the rear of the eyes. This adaptation allows their eyes to reflect light, resulting in this captivating radiance. Beyond the scary eyes, we have the size and weight to worry about. This colossal being tips the scales at around 1,000 pounds. They inhabit both terrestrial and freshwater domains, though they steer clear of salty waters. While they might nibble on the occasional fruit, make no mistake, these predators are born carnivores. On solid ground, their dash is surprisingly sprightly, yet their hefty frame exacts swift exhaustion. In sum, they're a formidable threat in both swampy waters and on terra firma. Whatever you do, avoid them like the plague when you see them. Get too close and, well, you might just become history just like the ancient dinosaurs. Paying close attention to this footage, we see the trees shake and sway back and forth. It's no doubt that there's a powerful force moving through the forest, but what creature could shake the trees this much? The truth is, no one knows, and the individual whose drone was capturing the whole thing refused to move closer to avoid being spotted by whatever it is or angering it. He didn't want to take the chance and end up with regrets, that is, losing his gear or having such a powerful being come after him. What do you think, though? What creature could have exuded such power? What would you have done in this position? Tell us in the comments section. While the clarity of many creatures often leaves much to be desired, our curiosity remains undeterred as we delve into the content. Let's unpack this particular one. Deep in the remote wilderness, this intriguing footage was captured. As we analyze the video clip, we're greeted by serene natural landscape, lush trees, cascading grasslands, and flowing water body. However, amidst this natural splendor, an enigmatic dark figure comes into view. The figure appears blurry, possibly due to the low quality of the Trailcam footage. This blurriness raises curiosity about its true nature. Speculations arise that this could be another Bigfoot sighting, a notion not entirely implausible. But the question lingers, is this entity covered in hair? What is the purpose of this creature's presence? Moreover, what could have compelled it to remain so motionless for an extended duration? Some suggest Bigfoot may possess cloaking abilities, making this dark, tall, and lean figure even more intriguing. But is that possible, though? We find ourselves at a loss for words on this one. While this particular footage is questionable, the idea of Bigfoot with cloaking abilities isn't entirely over the top. Or is it? Let us know in the comments section. And speaking of odd captures, take a look at this next one. Am I the only one who thinks that looks like a Bigfoot? Sure, it does look like an ape at first glance, but a closer look shows that despite its fur and ape-like body, it's actually standing and moving upright, something that apes aren't necessarily associated with. Only one creature, however, has long been associated with such features. Can you guess which? Yes, the cryptid, Bigfoot. Judging by the creature's appearance, it seems to be a mature one. Upon closer examination, my team and I zoomed in and noticed that it appeared to have a baby on its back. Take another look. Do you see it now? A baby Bigfoot? Ever heard of such a thing? If you answered no, you aren't alone, and that's what makes this piece of footage profound, as no other image like this exists. What do you think, though? Real or cleverly planned hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you thought the last Bigfoot footage was up close and personal, watch this one. The footage starts off casually looking like a normal footage till we spot a black figure in the background. It gets all shaky from there, and we can barely see the subject except for a few times the cameraman captured it. Now, here's the twist. Could the cameraman's trembling hands be attributed to genuine fear, rendering the footage raw and unsettling, or might this intentional tremor serve as a clever diversion, masking the truth of its authenticity? My gut nudges me towards skepticism, hinting at a fabrication, but I'm eager to hear your take. Don't hold back, let those keyboards sing in the comments section. Picture this. You're out for a leisurely stroll, and suddenly you spot the fabled Yeti casually doing push-ups on a hill. Sounds absolutely bonkers, doesn't it? But hold on, because we've got the footage to prove it. Not so crazy anymore, is it? This footage was reportedly captured by an adventurer who was exploring one of the remote mountain ranges in one of the cold regions. Curiously, our adventurer friend has opted to keep the location under wraps, citing safety concerns. In case you're not in the know, spotting a regular-sized human on a mountain peak is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, unless, of course, said human is the size of a small house. The being in this footage is very pronounced, which means it must be very large, which takes away any and all possibility of him being human. Interestingly, according to the uploader, this region is rumored to be a Yeti hotspot. Strangely though, tangible evidence has been elusive. He's confident that this footage prevents the most compelling evidence we've seen in quite some time. But why would a Yeti be doing press-ups? Is it trying to get over a breakup, or am I simply overthinking it? Either way, share your thoughts with us. Do you think that this is the real deal, or is someone just messing with us? We'd love to read your comments. Everyone loves to think that a weekend off in a cabin somewhere in the woods or a farm in the countryside might be relaxing and fun. Personally, I think so too, but it doesn't always turn out like that, and this next footage is a classic example of that. The individual recording this footage went to live out on his farm hoping to have a good time. This was soon interrupted by strange sounds from a creature he couldn't see. Listen.
Whatever reason, they're pretty close to the house this morning. Just out of sight, like usual.
You hear it, don't you? He eventually dismisses it and has his girlfriend come over, and she hears it too, this time on the roof. He goes out to try and chase whatever or whoever it is, but found nothing or nobody. The sounds continue for a few more days until he runs into the creature or perhaps one of them on one of the cold nights. He sends verbal warnings to the creature, but because he could not see it, it's hard to tell what he's dealing with. The camera's quality and the low light makes it difficult to tell what it really is. And given we can only see its eye shine, we can only speculate. Many in the paranormal community believe it could either be a skinwalker or a rake, but what do you personally think? Now, believe me when I say we have seen all sorts of things on trail cams, but never seen what I'm about to show you on a trail cam. Just in case you didn't know, that's the Grim Reaper. And just in case you didn't know, the Grim Reaper is known as the personification of death across many cultures. He's usually depicted as a dark hooded skeletal figure carrying a scythe, which is exactly what he is carrying in the capture. He usually shows up to collect the souls of those unfortunate enough to be at the point of death. So imagine knowing this and having him show up on your trail cam at night. If that's not freaky, I don't know what is. But of course, we have to question the authenticity of this capture. Is it real, or is someone seeking their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on ginormous creatures, we travel all the way to Japan for our next footage. Before I reveal more, take a look. My initial reaction, what in the world is that abomination? I got my answer once the whole creature was in view. The sight of the numerous tentacles and arms initially gave me quite a scare. However, upon closer inspection, it revealed itself to be none other than a squid. Not your everyday squid though, but instead a giant squid. This footage was captured off the coast of Japan, showcasing an astonishing giant squid measuring at least 2.5 meters in length. Undoubtedly, seafood enthusiasts might find themselves drooling at its mere sight, yet for those unacquainted with such a spectacle, it could be quite an unsettling experience. It evokes memories of the legendary Kraken from myth and echoes its appearances in various films. While its size is undeniably impressive, let's be clear, it's a far cry from the colossal Kraken of ancient myths. But do tell us, will this scare you, or would it simply work up an appetite in you? We'd like to know. Picture this, a tranquil, moonlit evening, a leisurely walk, and then the unthinkable. But why spoil the surprise? Let the footage speak for itself. The footage starts out pretty normal till you realize that the one recording moves the camera to one spot and doesn't move. It's almost as though she's frozen in time, and you start wondering why until you see it. A white being emerges from the shadow, moving in a similar fashion as a gorilla would, and pauses to stare at the one recording. At that moment, the recording ends, leaving you wonder what happened to the recorder. But then again, the person uploading means the person survived the experience. Now, let's tackle the burning question. What on earth, or beyond, did we just witness? As much as I'd revel in the idea of encountering a bona fide paranormal entity, something niggles at my skepticism. The entity's appearance seems eerily computer-rendered, and picture this, a hair-raising woodland encounter with a shadowy being. Trust me, steady hands might be a luxury. My gut leans towards a CGI fabrication, so in my opinion it's fake and simply CGI. But what's yours? Next, we have this really odd trail cam capture. In it, we see a stack of orbs arranged in a vertical manner. If we weren't knowledgeable of the paranormal, we'd ignore this as a bad capture, but knowing that orbs are usually an indication of spiritual or paranormal activity, we found this capture interesting. Could the trail cam have been situated in a place rich with spiritual and paranormal activity? We couldn't help but wonder, but experts have suggested that the stacked orbs could be the result of a bug distorting the capture. However, we find it difficult to believe since we don't see the typical shape of a bug. So we must ask, what are your thoughts on the matter? Could we be witnessing the paranormal? Is it just a bug, or could it be something entirely different? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Unlike the previous Trailcam owners on this list, this man actually intended to capture a paranormal on his Trailcam. He'd heard the area he had set up his Trailcam was a magnet for such, and he wanted to capture the next viral cryptid. Imagine his shock when he realized that his camera had actually captured a humanoid creature. Upon closer examination of the image, his excitement quickly turned into disappointment. While he may have captured a humanoid, it was no cryptid, but a human with questionable fashion choices. But hey, who are we to judge another person's fashion sense, right? And what better way to end today's compilation than with eerie ghost footage? Enjoy. Did you see it? A transparent or translucent being moves through the room around the area of the stairs. The uploader of the footage reiterates how the footage scared her and how she was still recovering from it. Now you tell me, what would you have done in her shoes? As you think about it, here's a quick one. While the land has seen its fair share of peculiar sightings, the world beneath the waves holds a treasure trove of mysteries waiting to be unveiled. Every day, new and bewildering creatures are captured on camera, adding to the enigma of our planet. With a mere 5% of the ocean's vast expanse explored by humanity, we've already encountered a plethora of bizarre and inexplicable marine life. Allow us to introduce you to the Archosargus probatocephalus, commonly referred to as the sheep's head fish. Its remarkable feature, a head that uncannily echoes human facial features. In a departure from the minuscule and razor-sharp teeth of its aquatic counterparts, the sheep's head fish showcases an astonishing trait. Its mouth is adorned with teeth reminiscent of those found in humans. Notably, two upper front teeth jut out prominently. As for its culinary potential, I can't say for certain, but I must admit the thought of finding my own face staring back at me from a plate isn't exactly appetizing. While not of paranormal origin, the fish's appearance remains undeniably eerie and disconcerting. Or am I being too critical of a fish? Either way, have you seen any of these fish in person? What was the experience like? 'Tis the season for celebration, but this joy is short-lived when a woman hears growling from deep within the woods near her. While it's natural for someone to flee in such situations, this courageous woman defies her instinctual fear and bravely ventures toward the source of the menacing growls. Equipped with her phone, she begins recording and ventures deep into the woods. As she approaches, she delicately pushes aside vegetation, which reveals what you are currently seeing on your screens. And yes, that's a black creature crouched at the tree with something reddish where its mouth should be. The woman didn't stay for long and ran immediately after she saw the creature. But what is it? Some who saw the video claim it's a mystical creature or a cryptid with a fiery mouth. Believe me when I say we at Classified Captures love the paranormal as much as anyone, but that assertion is just ridiculous. That's definitely a black panther with its mouth open. For our next video, we have something rather odd and quite unanticipated. And no, it's not a paranormal creature or event. I mean, well, how do I explain? Well, watch the footage. Yep, that's definitely one gifted elephant. We have no idea why that elephant suddenly broke the fence and what it was looking for, but looking down below, we can definitely say he was looking for a damsel. But judging by how the video ended, we doubt he found one. Poor thing. Our hearts go out to this lonely creature, and we hope that it encounters a Mrs. Elephant soon, as it undoubtedly deserves some luck in the romance department. Next, we have this rather odd footage we'd love for you to see as well. We've been scratching our heads over this one, and we're eagerly anticipating your insights or perhaps a collective head-scratching session. Have a look at the image. At first glance, I'm tempted to call it a bear due to its bear-like visage. But hang on, bears aren't typically this diminutive, are they? Interestingly, this snapshot hails from Louisiana, where bears do roam. However, the local bear species tends to be smaller than its grizzly counterparts. Despite their petite stature, I find it hard to believe they're quite this petite. Despite their small sizes, however, I doubt they are this small. I mean, this looks too small to even be a cub. If you've been on the channel for a while, then you know I sort of make mistakes when it comes to recognizing species of the same family. Am I making another mistake, or is there something odd going on here? Please tell me in the comments section, as I'd really love to know. Can trees move? Before you answer, watch this footage. We have fantasies we wish could be our reality, but if we know anything about life, it's that that's not how life works. Yet, right before you in this Trailcam footage is something that looks mythical and magical. The footage unveils a forest adorned with towering trees, adorned in moss, surrounded by lush grass. Yet, the true intrigue lies with the trees right in the center of the footage. In a captivating display, this particular tree responds to some unseen cue, opening and closing to unveil its slightly carved and intricately crafted innermost part. It almost looks as though the tree is moving or breathing. Is this something magical, or is there a logical explanation for it? If there is, could you tell us in the comments section, because we'd like to know. If you thought that was weird and strange, then most likely you haven't seen this Trailcam capture. Imagine waking up to review the photos your Trailcam took only to find this. You might rub your eyes in disbelief thinking you are seeing things. You might probably tell yourself that you saw a wolf and mistook it to have a human form, only to take a second look and realize it's no fluke at all and you're actually not seeing things. An actual wolf-like creature with a humanoid body and nearly human facial expressions is captured staring at the lens of your trail camera. What would you do? Personally, I won't revisit that area again, at least not until and not without holy water, but this trail cam owner posted it online to warn others. Bless his heart. What would you have done in such a situation? Tell us, as we really want to know. But you know, we can't move to the next footage without scrutinizing this. Do you believe it's real, or did we shower a lot of blessings and show a lot of respect to a man who only wanted his 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on the bizarre and strange, take a look at this next trail cam capture. What does it look like? Claws, right? But what creature could have claws like that? What kind of creature could possess such claws? At a quick glance, they resemble humanoid hands, even a bit like primate hands. I mean, look closely and you start to see it. Although the hands look like they belong to a primate, the nails make it clear that they don't. Even if it is a primate, the creature in this trail cam footage seems enormous. Gorillas are indeed large primates, but the angle of the capture implies something more humanoid, and as we know, gorillas are not humanoid. So is this some unknown creature roaming the woods, or could it be a cryptid, say, a Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as I'd really love to know what you think. Still in Thailand, meet the leptocephalids, transparent creatures that seem like they're made of glass. Here's a riddle for you. Think of a sea creature that shares similarities with the leptocephalids. If you guessed eel, you're absolutely right. Leptocephalids are the larvae of eels. These flat, almost extraordinary creatures are slow swimmers and thrive in any water. They feed on plankton, which includes microscopic organisms like small crustacean larvae and other tiny particles in the water. While some species of eels, when they're adults, may consume crustaceans, insects, and smaller fishes, the larvae, leptocephali, primarily rely on plankton for their diet. Despite their invisible power, these creatures still fall prey to fishes like lance fish, tuna, yellowfin, and other species. These creatures have a lifespan of 2 years and are one of the coolest sea creatures I have ever seen. What about you? Next, we have another perplexing footage you should definitely see. Have a look. In broad daylight, this Trailcam captures a glimpse of a black creature as it ventures deeper into the woods. Upon closer examination of it, it bears a resemblance to the legendary Sasquatch, more commonly referred to as Bigfoot. Its black fur and robust and humanoid build are dead giveaways. Aside from its physique, the uploader of the footage mentioned that it was moving quite quickly, as though it didn't want to be seen. I know you might be wondering what if it's just an ape from the region, but this is where things get serious. There are no apes where this footage was recorded, and that could only mean one thing. This is the real deal. Unless, of course, this is an elaborate hoax, which I'm hoping it's not, but what do you think about the whole thing? Beautiful, isn't it? Looks like a thing from a fairy tale or Pixar movie, but it's not. Discovered in 2009 by zoologist Dr. Arthur Anker in Venezuela's Gran Sabana region, this moth is a unique find. The insect was snow white from head to toe, but for its eyes and dark spots for its wings. Despite this footage, there's a bit of mystery and controversy over the moth. Despite its discovery in 2009, there's very little information available about this moth, contributing to the ongoing controversy. Many don't think it's real. In fact, some think it's basically the silk moth wrongly identified. If the confusion and controversy prove anything, it's that we have a lot more to learn about our planet despite being here for thousands of years. But to our moth lovers and experts, what do you have to say about this one? Could you clear this up for us? Instead of introducing our next footage, perhaps I should let you watch and form your own opinions. Have a look. What do you think this creature is? It looks like a large reptilian lizard, but moves like a snake would. Although it does have legs, it almost looks as if it were slithering on the ground. If we know anything about lizards, it's that they don't move like that. And if we know anything about snakes, it's that they don't look like that. Some who saw it thought it was a creature from the underworld. Others also thought it was a prehistoric creature that had found a way to survive and remain hidden until now. But let's take a critical look at the video. If you look closely, you'd realize that it's missing its front limbs. If you have been a long-time subscriber on this page, then you know that crocs and gators sometimes lose their limbs by accidentally biting off each other's legs thinking it was meat. Sometimes it's also due to aggression. I have a strong feeling that this creature might have been a victim of such. That would explain its odd look and movements. That sounds more plausible than any of the explanations I mentioned earlier. What do you think, though? Also, is that a croc or a gator? Tell us in the comments section. Now, we're no wildlife aficionados and we won't pretend to be, but this next capture that was sent in by one of our astute viewers who says he's had 30 trail cams up for over 10 years. Despite this feat, he's no idea what the image I'm about to show you is. Have a look. Now, here's where the magic happens. On this very channel, you've astounded us time and again with your uncanny ability to discern and identify the denizens of the wild. Today, we're reaching out to you, our community of experts, to come to the aid of our fellow explorer. Take the reins and enlighten us. What creature do you believe graces this mysterious snapshot? Drop your insights in the comments section, and yes, our fellow enthusiasts will eagerly be poring over your thoughts. If you thought that was weird, take a look at this footage. Do you see it? Somewhere in the trees, there's a dark figure moving. Whatever it is, it realizes that it's being filmed and tries to hide behind the trees. It keeps staring in the direction of those filming until the clip ends. The uploader of the footage believes it's a Bigfoot, and quite frankly, I'm leaning into that explanation as well. Whatever creature it is, it also has fur all over it and is moving with a human-like gait. There's only one creature that's known to have these features, and it's none other than the legendary and elusive Bigfoot. Could this be actual footage of the cryptid, or is this an elaborate hoax to throw us off? Next, we have this series of photos that recently raise intriguing questions. At first glance, they appear to be ordinary pictures of deer in a wooded area. However, as each subsequent photo is illuminated using the Trailcam app, spectral images start to emerge. One photo displays a red hue while another reveals a yellow tint. Once these images were shared with the paranormal community, speculation quickly arose. Some believe that these ghostly figures captured on camera are the spirits of deceased deer that have not yet transitioned to the next plane, a concept that pushes the boundaries of our understanding and challenges our perception of the natural and supernatural world. As extraordinary as that sounds, we'd love to hear your thoughts about it. What do you think about the whole thing? Next, we have this Trailcam capture, which is nothing but a hazy image. Despite the image's haziness, a discernible silhouette emerges. The silhouette bears a resemblance to Darth Vader from Star Wars, but it's highly unlikely this image was taken on Mustafar. What then are we looking at? While the truth remains unknown, our suspicion leans towards this being a cryptid. Take a look at its hands and you'll realize it has what looks like claws, and although it seems to wear something, I suspect it might just be fur. Discerning the features does not, however, tell us what it is. It's hard to believe it's Bigfoot given the claws and slender body. But what do you think we're dealing with here? Could it be a never-before-seen creature? Is it a new kind of cryptid, or is it merely an emaciated Bigfoot? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Going back to the ocean, prepare to be amazed by this intriguing footage captured by a fisherman off the coast of Krabi, Thailand. This man went fishing when he caught something unlike anything he's ever seen. A spider-like creature, but one with more legs than your average spider. From this footage, we can see the creature is quite large and has legs that look like sticks. The creature itself looks so unreal, like a tree branch, but here's where things get really strange. As the man pokes the creature, it starts moving its arms, proving that it is indeed alive and a genuine mystery of the deep. The footage has left all who saw it weirded out, but what do you think this could be? Tell us in the comments section. Still on strange things, let's dive into something truly perplexing. Feast your eyes on this baffling footage. In this footage, an unknown individual holds a moving creature in their left palm while it exhibits physical bird-like features. The beak area raises several questions. At first glance, the black and white polka-dotted spots around it appear to resemble teeth. But teeth at such a young age? Weird, right? But that's not the only unsettling aspect. Perhaps it's the novelty of encountering a newborn bird outside of its nest that adds to the eerie feeling. But although we're inexperienced when it comes to birds, we're not sure birds should look like that. The uploader mentioned it was a gold-wattled bat, but a quick Google search will prove otherwise. Contrary to what we've uncovered, the appearance doesn't align with that of young gold-wattled bats. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Could it be an extraterrestrial entity, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps an entirely novel species? Well, we can't say. Time will tell, but I have a feeling it won't be pretty. What do you think? This next clip was taken by an Indonesian YouTuber and his adventurous friends who set out to capture thrilling encounters with dangerous animals. Little did they know they would stumble upon something entirely unexpected. As they ventured deeper into the woods, their cameras rolling, a humanoid creature darted into the darkness, eluding their pursuit. Undeterred, the fearless crew gave chase, but the elusive being outpaced them, disappearing into the night. The creature they encountered was peculiar indeed. a naked humanoid with elongated limbs and a hairless head crouched in an enigmatic pose. Upon reviewing the footage, they made a startling discovery. The mysterious creature had actually been walking around them the entire time, and they never noticed. But what was it? Was it an extraterrestrial being, an otherworldly visitor, or could it be a clever fabrication by the YouTubers? The truth remains elusive, but what do you think? This next capture is quite the wild one. It was taken as far back as 2011 in the backyard of the Trailcam owner. At first glance, the capture shows a furry cat staring towards the camera. However, upon closer inspection, something else becomes apparent. If you examine the image more closely, you'll notice two eyes and a face also peering toward the camera. The face exudes an ominous aura, evoking a sense of impending malevolence. However, beyond these details, the image remains shrouded in mystery. The one who posted it online hadn't posted anything again since. We can only hope that the individual is fine, but what do you make of the capture? Share your thoughts with us. In Southern California, an unusual sighting in the night sky caused quite a stir.
It's getting big. Oh my god.
There's two lights up there. Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god, look at the design. What does it mean?
Captured on camera, a strange patch of what looked like white smoke appeared with two glowing orbs embedded within it. The phenomenon was witnessed by many residents, causing widespread concern. Some people thought it was an alien visitation, while others proposed more fantastical ideas, such as a portal to another dimension or something scraping against the supposed firmament above us. There were even theories that the sky above us was an ocean, and that was what we are seeing. However, one commenter provided a more grounded explanation, mentioning that this could be linked to Vandenberg Air Force Base. Upon further investigation, it was confirmed that SpaceX had launched a satellite using a rocket from the Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The launch, which many people were unaware of, created a spectacular visual in the sky that could easily be mistaken for something otherworldly. Given the current climate of UFO sightings and extraterrestrial theories, it's understandable that many people were quick to jump to conclusions. The sight certainly looked unnatural and otherworldly, almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. What are your thoughts as well when you saw the clip?
Oh my god.
There's two lights up there. Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god, look at the design. What does it mean?
Really big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. No.
A truck driver, captivated by the beauty of the full moon one evening, decided to take a video of it for his son while driving. As he was focusing on capturing the perfect shot, something unexpected happened. His truck suddenly bumped into something, causing him to panic and stop the vehicle. Alarmed, he checked the vehicle's camera and saw the figure of a person standing on the road. Given where they were, this was odd, but he still got out to inspect and make sure the person was fine. But here's the thing, no one was there.
Nothing there.
Everyone who heard the incident with him was puzzled, as no one could explain the mysterious figure on the camera as well as the impact felt. If you know anything about the paranormal community, it's that they won't disappoint when it comes to associating this with an otherworldly being. Most believed he had indeed encountered and bumped into something beyond our plane. They just couldn't put their finger on what exactly. What do you guys think?
Big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. Nothing there.
Would you visit a place called Dogman Forest? Well, these YouTubers thought it was a good idea to do so, and do so at night.
That wasn't no geese.
That was like a howl.
Goose!
A few minutes into their expedition, however, they hear an ungodly and unnatural howl. Stunned, they try to investigate and find the source of the howl. This leads them to a location near a flowing stream. When they arrive, the howls suddenly stop and they assume it's because of the rushing stream. Pay attention as they speak. Did you catch that? There was a creature moving in the background on the roof of the house behind them. Take a second look. Yup, there's definitely something or someone moving on the roof behind them. They and the majority of their subscribers believe it's the Dogman, and they believe the howl stopped because they were close to the Dogman. The Dogman became quiet because it didn't want to give off its position. That certainly sounds logical and plausible, but what do you think? Do you believe that's actually what happened? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we have another footage of Bigfoot, which, although blurry, has been accepted by Bigfoot enthusiasts and the rest of the paranormal community as being authentic. In the footage, we see an ape-like creature with an almost human-like gait moving briskly through the forest. Oblivious to the fact it's being filmed, the creature, which is more brown than black in regard to the color of its fur, is described as maintaining a Bigfoot posture despite moving very quickly. According to Bigfoot experts, this is not a posture a human can attempt to maintain while moving that fast. The footage became so popular that almost everyone featured it, including some television stations. I find anything hard to dispute in this footage, and I'm leaning toward the fact that this is the real deal. What about you? Some believe that aliens are already living among us, despite the government not giving us enough proof and mostly debunking all the claims. A couple recently shared some intriguing footage that has fueled this speculation further.
Aliens.
Look! What?
In the video, a strange light appears in the night sky, significantly brighter and larger than any star. What's even more puzzling is how the light seems to glitch, flickering erratically. Moments later, another similar light materializes above it, and the first one vanishes almost as if they're playing a game of hide-and-seek in the sky. The couple who captured this footage is convinced that these lights are extraterrestrial. But what do you think? Could this be a mere weather phenomenon or something more mundane like a drone or a satellite? Or is it possible that they are indeed signs of alien presence, as the couple believes? Share your thoughts.
Is there something behind you?
I live in Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson, and this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint.
A TikTok user named Jessica shared some scary footage on TikTok. She had just gotten home from a late-night shift when she noticed some strange prints along her home. These were no ordinary prints. They were long and had 2 claw-like marks and hoof marks, making them look very odd and unsettling. The prints were significantly larger than her feet, leaving her wondering what could have made them. Well, she didn't have to wonder as long as whatever was responsible for the prints showed itself, but only for a few seconds because it escaped from her home. From her account, it didn't look like any creature she'd ever seen, and judging by the prints she saw, she didn't have to even mention it. We can tell. They don't resemble those of bears or wolves. The whole thing freaked and shook her up. She's brave to keep living there, though, and by herself as well, especially while working night shifts. Now, I turn my sights on you guys. What creature do you think could be responsible for this whole saga? Could it be an unknown animal, something supernatural, or perhaps even a prank? Share your thoughts.
Oakville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Jackson, and this is going all the way around my neighbor's house. It's almost like whatever this was jumped from my backyard over my fucking house and then just disappeared. The size of my footprint. Y'all see this? The size of my fucking footprint. There ain't no damn bird that damn big.
Están adentro, güey. Ay, güey. Vente, 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 adentro, güey. Acá adentro, acá adentro.
A team of ghost hunters ventured into a ghost town to explore in the dead of the night, and what you were seeing is the footage they captured. They started by checking out the buildings, which were all empty and mostly untidy. As the tour continued, they were brought to a halt by a sound, something like a scream.
No sé, güey.
These fearless adventurers go around to find the source of the scream but come up with nothing. They continue their search once more, and then they are once again interrupted by another loud sound. It sounded almost as if like someone was throwing something at them. Naturally, they were frightened, and you could tell by how they jumped back. You'd think they'd turn back after this, but no, they went on to investigate the sound, but still found no one. As they proceeded with their quest, they noticed a figure from afar ignite a fire. It was hard to tell what or who it was, but they hoped that at least it was human. The lurker kept moving the fire in the air, almost as if it was warning them off the property before throwing the fire at the boys. After a while, the figure stops and the boys head in that direction, but as usual, they get there and there's no one there. They enter another room and see a cloaked figure from afar, and it also goes away as they get closer. This left the boys puzzled, and many of those who watched the video were puzzled too. Do you think the whole thing is legit? Thousands do, but we're not one of them. It looks too convenient and poorly executed, if you ask me. I mean, which sorcery can only throw fire a few centimeters away from himself? Not impressive at all. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this is real, or do you think those boys set it up for views? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Stepping away from the mysterious and unknown, we have wholesome footage that's sure to make your heart warm. Have a look. Yep, that's a chimp, all right, and yes, it invited that man over to fetch water from the stream so it could drink. It's not always you see something like this. It's surreal, almost dreamlike, like a scene from the Chronicles of Narnia. It's obvious that this chimp must have grown up around humans given the way it's comfortable around the man. And you have to give the man props for not overreacting and going along. All in all, this is a beautiful scene in an otherwise chaotic world. What do you think? Is this an experience you would love? Take a look at this fascinating water phenomenon, and yes, those are ice spheres floating on the water.
Oh, icy right here?
At first glance, these ice balls might seem like they were crafted and placed there intentionally, but they are in fact naturally formed. These ice spheres are created by the movement of water currents. As the water moves, it shapes the ice into smooth round balls. This mesmerizing natural process showcases the incredible and often unexpected ways in which nature operates. Isn't it amazing how nature can create such perfectly shaped ice spheres without any human intervention? Have you seen these or touched them before? Care to share your experience?
Icy right here?
Stepping away from nature, let's move on to something man-made, a lifelike robot that doubles as a waitress at a hotspot restaurant in China. If not for her robotic movements, it would be hard to tell if this is a human or a machine. At this point, I don't know if I should feel excited about this technological marvel or freaked out by how realistic it is. Just watch her. She serves food gracefully for a machine and even picks up a paper and pen for someone. It's both fascinating and a little eerie to see how far robotics have come. What are your thoughts on this invention? Is it a step forward in technological innovation, or does it bring up concerns about the future of human interaction and employment? Let us know what you think. Stepping away from raccoons, we have this eerie and quite frankly very disturbing footage. It was taken from the body cam of a young man exploring what looks like a tunnel in the woods. Wondering what I'm talking about? Watch this. You saw it, didn't you? A creature emerged from the darkness, screaming and terrifying the person exploring. And what exactly was it? Due to the video's quality, it's difficult to discern. It appears to be a humanoid creature with beady eyes. All who saw the video thought it might be a skinwalker, but we disagree. A second look and the mystery surrounding the creature dissipates. You start to realize that you might actually be looking at a computer-generated image. At least, that's what we think. But what do you think? How will you explain this, a fox and a wolf frozen when it looks like they were about to attack each other? If someone told us this was possible, we'd no doubt dispute it. But here, we're seeing two predators frozen in time just as they were about to attack each other. Was their intense desire to attack each other so overpowering that they momentarily forgot the reality of the situation, or could there be other factors at play? Perhaps in a whimsical twist, Elsa from Frozen paid them a visit. Well, we can't say for sure, but if there is a scientific explanation for this, please do share it with us. We'd like to hear it. The Statue of Liberty has been under scrutiny for a lot of things. Some even theorize that there was a secret facility in there, or that it was a place where people were mass murdered, and so much more.
L'aspetto più difficile della costruzione delle vie di stade, que le statues soient destinées à être un cadeau. L'ambassadeur des États-Unis nous a exhortés à suivre les démons du président Trump. Nous avons accepté l'échappement. Nous avons reçu des exigences de taille variable pour le piédestal. Après 4 ans de demander des modifications de la taille du piédestal pour cesser. Les gens se demandent pourquoi le piédestal est tellement plus grand que le rang. Tout ce que je veux dire, c'est demander aux Américains.
These theories are nothing new and have been there for a long time. The man who allegedly built the statue said that the US authorities requested that the pedestal on which the statue stood be made very large, but for what reasons he didn't know. After the statue was built, it was said that people who lived by it, which was mostly immigrants, complained of a foul smell coming from the area where the statue was situated. A woman who was interviewed said that it smelled like rotten flesh in a slaughterhouse. She said at night she would see people being lined up and led to the statue by officials.
Ellie Island era orribile. L'intero posto puzzava di carne, come un mattatoio. C'erano anche uccelli morti ovunque e mia sorella ne trovò persino uno nel gabinetto. Se già la costa è così, diceva mio padre, immaginate quanto puzzeranno le città. Ricordo di aver sentito altre famiglie dire quasi scherzosamente che volessero tornare a Milano per via dell'odore. La mia famiglia aveva spruzzato profumo e acceso candele per tenere lontano il fetore, ma funzionava solo per un'ora o giù di lì, finché l'aria diventava di nuovo insopportabile. Le serate erano così calde, rimasi per lo più sveglia, anche se il resto della mia famiglia dormiva profondamente. Ricordo che guardavo fuori dalla finestra ogni notte e vedevo file di persone che venivano condotte alla Statua della Libertà dai funzionari. Se solo fossero saliti sul piedistallo, i funzionari se ne sarebbero andati e non sarebbe successo nient'altro. La mattina seguente però ci sarebbe stato un odore peggiore, come un mattatoio.
Naturally, people started believing things, including the fact that there was some sort of creature in there that was being fed humans. This led to the infamous emergence of the 1889 Liberty Lurker interviews, but later it was all written off as a fake. Now scratch everything I've just said and take a look at this comment. Yes, this scenario I just described is supposed to be a hypothetical and not so real story, or is it? What are your thoughts on it? A subscriber sent in this rather intriguing footage. In the video, a machine is seen pulling something out of what appears to be a sewer or a tank filled with murky substances. The details are scant, but according to the sender, they pulled out a monster, specifically a demon. Upon closer inspection, it seems more likely that the figure being pulled out is a person covered in a thick, unidentifiable substance. The footage doesn't provide enough clarity to definitely say whether it's a monster or a person, but the latter seems more plausible given the context. What do you think, though? Ever wondered what it would be like if Spider-Man's spider bit a deer instead of a human? Well, prepare yourselves for this mind-boggling image that has been circulating among our followers. According to the sender, their Trailcam captured this astonishing sight: a deer with multiple legs and spider-like eyes. However, upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that this image is far from authentic. While it would certainly be a remarkable sight if such a creature existed, we can confidently say that this is nothing more than a poorly executed attempt to deceive the paranormal community. As much as we thrive on exploring the mysteries of the supernatural, we're committed to upholding the integrity of our investigations. Rest assured, we won't pass off hoaxes as genuine phenomena. Nonetheless, it's fascinating to ponder the possibilities. What are your thoughts on this peculiar image? Next, we have this capture from a trail camera set up in Virginia. Take a look at the capture. Yes, we know it's blurry et al., but what do you see? Hard to say, right? Well, there are some who think that it's a lizard, others think it's a turtle, and some think it's a snake. But here's the kicker. The Trailcam is situated on a tree at least 4 feet from the ground. That makes you wonder about it being a turtle. The uploader of the footage, however, refused to mention where it was, leaving it up to our imaginations. Given that West Virginia is known for its snake populations, we're leaning toward it being a snake. After all, the snakes in West Virginia are also known to climb trees. But do tell us, have you ever captured an image like this on your trail camera? If you have, what creature was it? A girl named Valeria shared an eerie video online.
There's someone outside my room. Wait.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
She was alone at home, and while she was in a room with the door slightly ajar, she heard a female voice calling out to her saying, "Hey." What made it even more unsettling was that the voice sounded exactly like hers. Panicked, she quickly shut the door and the video ended abruptly. As soon as people saw the footage, many were convinced that Valeria was being haunted by a creature known as a mimic. These creatures, as the name suggests, are believed to lure their victims by calling out to them using their voices, creating a terrifyingly familiar sound to entice them. However, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that the voice could have been a trick of acoustics or perhaps even a neighbor's voice carried through the walls. Others suggest that the footage might be staged, possibly with Valeria using a recording of her voice to create the eerie effect. What do you think?
Hey. Hey.
Next, we have a haunting and chilling story that has surfaced from a hospital in the Philippines.
Yawa. Koray sa halak kayo. Ngayon sa bawas. Yawa.
A man, completely alone in his hospital room, filmed his surroundings to show that no one else was there. But when he aimed the camera under his bed, he saw a pair of legs on the other side. Terrified, he immediately stood up to check but found no one there. This eerie footage was submitted to a radio station, sparking widespread speculation. Many believed the legs belonged to a ghost, the spirit of someone who couldn't pay their medical bills. The theory is that even after death, the ghost remains trapped in the hospital because of their unpaid debt. What do you think? Could this be a real haunting, or is there a logical explanation behind the mysterious legs?
Nyawa korek saya. Hendak kayu. Umur tu bos. Nyawa.
We know moose can get quite large, but this is just ginormous. Canada's vast wilderness often conceals the most astonishing spectacles of nature, and this footage captures one of its most magnificent inhabitants. Behold, a giant bull moose whose stature stands as a testament to the majestic wilderness it calls home. Stretching its formidable frame to a towering 7 feet, this creature commands awe as it moves its head studying its surroundings. And as befitting for such a king, it's the crown upon its head, the antlers that truly steal the show. As the lens captures this titan in all its glory, one can't help but ponder if it were crafted in a laboratory rather than born of the wild. The muscles, the mass, the sheer magnitude of this creature, it's a sight that borders on the surreal. A living testament to the mysteries of the natural world. So a call out to all our nature lovers out there. Have you ever seen such a beast? Do you have captures? Could you bless our email with them? Thank you in advance. Have you ever had to deal with those children that rang your bells and ran as soon as they rang them? Well, what if you had a camera to record and know which kids in the neighborhood did that to your bell? It would help, right? Well, I guess that's what the owner of the Trailcam that recorded this footage thought. In the footage, we observe a light-like object approaching the door. Once this light reaches the door, the bell starts ringing, leaving you with questions. What is this light and why is it ringing the bell? It's not a one-time occurrence that you could dismiss as a fluke or error. It happens multiple times, leaving you wondering what's really happening. That's what the owner thought and uploaded the footage online expecting to receive some help. All who saw it were also shocked by the whole thing. They unanimously believed that it had to be a ghost. Honestly, I'm inclined to lean toward the ghostly explanation as well. Yet some paranormal enthusiasts suggest it might be a bug or cobweb, which isn't entirely impossible given our camera experiences. However, the logical explanation still leaves the question of why the bell rings. So what do you personally think? Are we dealing with a bug or cobweb, or is there an actual ghost out there? Or could the whole thing just be a clever attempt to mislead us? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on the subject of aliens, there's been a lot of footage of suspected UFOs circulating online. Some have been proven to be genuine, while others are more likely to be convincing fabrications. Recently, someone shared a video that has caught significant attention. Although the exact location is unknown, the footage shows the ocean with a nearby island. Out of this island emerges a fleet of disc-shaped crafts, a scene that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. The crafts ascend into the sky and fly off at a mesmerizing and mysterious spectacle. However, the lack of context around the footage has left many viewers skeptical. While some are captivated and inclined to believe this could be real evidence of extraterrestrial activity, a significant portion of the audience is less convinced. The video's quality and the seemingly perfect execution of the craft's movements have led many to suspect it might be a cleverly edited piece of work. That said, it's important to recognize that skepticism towards this particular footage doesn't necessarily debunk the possibility of actual UFOs. Unfortunately, in a digital age where anyone can create realistic visual effects, it can be challenging to differentiate between genuine sightings and those crafted for attention. What do you think? Could this footage be a glimpse of extraterrestrial activity, or is it another example of impressive video editing? Kids have always been described as having an active imagination, and given the kinds of things they say sometimes, I don't dispute it. But what if sometimes the things they say have nothing to do with imagination? What if they can see things we can't?
¿Quién le estás dando? ¿Eh? ¿Qué hay ahí? ¿Quién está? No sé quién está, amor. No estoy viendo a nadie, hija.
A mother found herself in the same situation when her toddler started to point at a wall. It seems she was saying that there was something or someone there, but the mother could not see anything, and neither can we in the video. This goes on for a while, and the child looks upset by whatever is there. At the end of the video, the child holds her chest and lets out this small cry, almost as if this invisible thing has done something to her.
Chao, decile. ¿Se fue? Ok. ¿Qué? Ay, Dios mío. Me voy a descomponer. ¿Qué pasó, amor?
The mother, after seeing this, was concerned, leading to the upload. A commenter shared that children who were not baptized see things, as her cousin saw her dead grandmother. But we do not know if this child was baptized or if the child is even Catholic, because not all religions baptize children. What do you think of the whole thing, though? Unlike the first video we perused, this just took a rather gaudy turn. On the outskirts of town, three men embarked on a curious escapade into the woods, eager to uncover any oddities that caught their attention as true explorers. Indeed, you might be thinking what I thought. Why choose the pitch-black hours of the night for this adventure? As they ventured into the woods, one of them carried a camera and a source of light to illuminate their path. Little did they realize that the nighttime pursuit would lead them to a creature with sinister intentions. Their progress seemed steady until a sudden and jarring interruption brought everything to an abrupt standstill. In the heart of nowhere, a lifeless body lay sprawled on the ground. Hovering over it was a peculiar creature, a hybrid with oversized goat horns, a goat's countenance, and a humanoid form. Caught in the act, the creature responds by waving its hand dismissively before redirecting its attention back to its newfound feast. Now, without casting any shadows of doubt, it's my view that this might be a hoax, plain and simple. The peculiar creature in question appears rather mascot-like, especially with that all-too-human wave. It's almost as if it's engaging in human antics. Next, we have this unsettling piece of footage captured by a trail camera situated in the heart of the woods. The footage starts off as your regular trail cam footage involving wild animals. We have coyotes featured in this clip, however, they look like they're going about their usual nocturnal business, perhaps hunting for some food. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, at least that's supposed to be the case until you notice those pairs of eyes stalking them. Whatever those are, it looks like they could be ginormous creatures, maybe even a Bigfoot. One thing worries me, though. It looks like our little canine friends are oblivious to the presence of those creatures, which is quite weird. If you know anything about those canines, is that they've got keen senses, especially their noses. If those two large creatures are close enough for their eyes to be picked up on the trail cam, then they're also close enough to be noticed or at least smelt by those coyotes. Since that's not what's happening in the footage, a part of me feels like this whole thing might be doctored. What do you think? Quick question. If an alligator was hot in your heels and there was a fence in front of you, would you climb it to escape? After all, alligators can't climb, right? Well, that's what I used to think until I saw this clip. Yup, that's an alligator captured on camera climbing over a metal barrier. Although it took some time and effort, the alligator eventually made its way over the fence and plopped onto the ground on the other side, continuing its journey toward the nearby water. Before you come into the comments section and scream paid actor, please note that this actor was not paid for this gig. Alligators can be dangerous creatures even though they might look adorable from a distance. This remarkable display of agility reminds us that alligators are not to be underestimated. They can overcome obstacles we might not expect them to. Next time you see one, keep your distance. Who knows what more tricks they've got under their sleeves. There are many unusual jobs in the world, and you might be surprised at how dangerous and deadly some of them can be. Yet, people still risk their lives daily to perform these tasks. One such job is jellyfish harvesting. This occupation is primarily seen in Asia, where jellyfish are considered a delicacy. The process of harvesting jellyfish, however, is incredibly risky. Take a look at this man standing precariously on a small wooden ladder placed across a boat's edge. With a rake in hand, he scoops jellyfish from the ocean and places them into the boat, which is often filled to the brim with these stinging creatures. Should the man fall into the boat or the ocean, he risks severe jellyfish stings, which can be extremely painful and potentially life-threatening. Despite the dangers, these harvesters continue their work. While this may be dangerous, I have a hard time deciding if it's more dangerous than being a volcanologist. And yes, that's a real thing too. It has to do with scientists who venture near erupting volcanoes to conduct research and carry out various tests. The inherent dangers of being close to an active volcano range from lava flows to toxic gases are significant. Imagine missing your step and coming into contact with extremely hot lava that's actually capable of melting your flesh on contact. Scary, huh? Nevertheless, volcanologists brave these risks to study and understand volcanic activity. Looking at these two jobs, which would you prefer? Do you believe in ghosts? Well, if you didn't, then perhaps this capture is for you. A wildlife photographer had set up his trail camera in the heart of the woods, hoping to capture some night photos of the wildlife in the area. Imagine his surprise when he reviewed the footage and saw what you see on your screens. Do you see it? Take a closer look at the mysterious, blurry figure lurking on the right side of the screen. Notice how it appears as a smoky, ethereal creature lingering on the right side of the screen. So, what's going on here? Your guess is as good as ours. Why is it there? Did it suddenly materialize in our realm? Could it be on a hunt for unsuspecting deer? Can we even trust the authenticity of this image? Well, that's one thing we can't say for sure. What do you think? Get ready for our next mind-boggling clip, straight from the heart of the woods. This trail cam footage captures a creature like no other, strolling through the forest like it owns the place. The trees stand tall, adorned with lush green leaves, as if they're in on its secret. Just take a look at the footage. It's as tall as those majestic trees, with arms so long they practically graze the ground. And here's the kicker. It moves with a slow but human-like gait that makes some folks think it's Bigfoot. Others within the paranormal community, however, think it's a whole new kind of cryptid, one that's managed to stay under the radar till now. The non-believers in the paranormal are amused by these assertions and reckon it's just a dude in a fancy costume. Yeah, right. But what's your take? Do you think it's a real deal, or is it just another hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I bet you thought that was a mouse, right? I mean, that would have been my first guess, but for its unusual movements and, well, its very unusual face. Typically, creatures its size have two eyes, but this guy seems to have one huge one. What's more, its hands or paws, wait, can we call it that? Well, never mind. Back to what I was saying, its paws are cat-like, if I'm right. These features combined give you a very strange creature. Think of it as a cat-human-rat hybrid. That's the best I can come up with. What do you guys think? Is this thing really real, or is someone out there just messing with us? While taking a walk along the road during sundown, someone came across a glowing orb floating just a little above the ground. It hovered there for a while before slowly starting to fly away. Glowing orbs like this have been spotted all over the world, yet their true nature remains a mystery. Some people believe these orbs are related to alien activity, suggesting they might be probes or even manifestations of extraterrestrial presence. Others think they're natural light phenomena, such as ball lighting or swamp gas, which can produce similar visual effects under certain conditions. Skeptics, on the other hand, argue that many of these sightings are hoaxes created through clever use of technology or optical illusions. You can see the clip, and if you've been on this channel since day 0, you have seen us feature a lot of clips involving them as well. What do you personally think of them? In this next footage, a person was taking a stroll one night when he comes across a creature crouched on the floor. The creature resembles a goblin with unnaturally smooth plastic-like skin and eerily glowing eyes. As he grabbed his phone to capture the scene, the creature became aware of his presence and started moving aggressively towards him, emitting spine-chilling, otherworldly noises. As realistic as this looks and sounds, I must say the one who created this CGI is very good, because I was genuinely almost spooked. What about you? Next is a Trailcam footage that's as scary as it is intriguing. I mean, take a look at the image. This was captured by a Trailcam situated at an undisclosed location. Although the image lacks clarity, we can vividly see a ginormous creature standing meters away from the camera. It's walking on its 2 feet like a human would, but with a body that doesn't quite look human. It's muscular with a heavy build. A part of me suspects that it might have a lot of fur as well, but that's not made clear by the image. It doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to realize that we're dealing with a cryptid, and in this case, it's none other than Bigfoot. But that leaves us with questions. Where did it come from, and is that particular location safe? I guess we'll never know. Mothra. Is that you? Well, there are 2, so Mothras? For those unfamiliar with the name, it refers to a moth butterfly thing from Godzilla. And while that's just fiction, this does not appear to be. It was posted by a user online. Just in case you're wondering, yes, they are moths, and just like butterflies, moths can come in all colors and sizes. Here we see 2 beautiful moths perched on a tree going about their business, if you know what I mean. Just look at their vibrant colors and intricate designs. These are what we call Cecropia moths. They are one of the largest moth species in North America and are known for their striking appearance. Their wings display a mix of red, white, brown, and black, forming an almost mesmerizing pattern. Cecropia moths are not only beautiful, but also fascinating in their life cycle, from their large green caterpillars to these magnificent adult forms. Amazing, isn't it? Have you ever encountered these captivating creatures in the wild? Share your experience. Imagine coming home from work to meet this on your stairs instead of your dog trying to get you to pat him or her and wagging the tail to let you know you have been missed. The one who uploaded this strange clip stated that when he arrived home, he was greeted with this strange sight on his stairs. From his perspective, the dog looked more like a person sitting on the stairs. It was unsettling and almost uncanny, so he moved closer. When the dog allegedly noticed its presence, it transformed back into the normal dog. This bizarre visual illusion left everyone online taken aback. Many people were quick to speculate that it might be a skinwalker, a mythical creature believed to have the ability to shapeshift. So what do you think? Is this just a trick of perspective, or could there be something more supernatural at play? Share your thoughts. What do you see? It looks ancient and prehistoric, doesn't it? Like a creature straight out of those dinosaur documentaries with CGI reconstructions of prehistoric times. But what if I told you that this is no CGI creation? What if I told you that this is an actual capture from the wild? And no, those were not hypothetical questions. The creature you see on your screen is actually real. Is it an alien? No. Is it a clone of some dinosaur from the dinosaur age? No. And a big no to all the hypotheticals in your mind. The creature on your screen is known as a gharial, an endangered species of crocodile native to the Indian subcontinent. Yes, that's right, it's a crocodile, but one that's unique from the crocodiles you're used to seeing. This particular species, scientifically known as Gavialis gangeticus, have long, slender snouts which distinguish them from other crocodile species. Their distinct thin snout, which can be up to 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet long in length in adult males, is filled with interlocking needle-like teeth that are well suited for catching fish. As freakish as they look, they're not aggressive towards humans and only like to eat fish. So rest easy, there's no nightmarish-looking croc coming for you. But bear in mind these animals are considered endangered and protected by law, so do not by any means go hunting one. You might just regret it. Still on scary stuff, we have a Trailcam capture that's the real stuff of nightmare. Have a look. Yep, that's an actual being with a skeleton-like head. As usual, the individual whose Trailcam captured these scenes was expecting a rare and beautiful image of some of the creatures that lived in the woods. Instead, he was greeted with this, which looks like what Ghost Rider might look like if he had flames put out. But do you think this image is actually real, or do you think someone is just playing practical jokes on the owner of the trail camera? Look at the image. Personally, I have so many questions and concerns. Instead of boring you with them, I would straight out state what I think. I think the whole thing is an elaborate hoax. Many in the paranormal community don't, however, think so, and some have stated that they have encountered stuff like this whilst in the woods as children. So instead of straight out dismissing it, I thought I'd include it and ask you guys, have you ever encountered anything like this in all the decades that you've lived? If you have, what was the experience like? Please share with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. Someone captured a strange-looking phenomenon in the sky, a dark figure shaped like a fish. Yup, that's a giant fish in the sky, but last I checked, there's no ocean up there, so what could a fish be doing in the sky? Well, remember what I said about things not always being what they seem. Some members of the community believe this might be the perfect example of that. They suggested that this might be evidence of the firmament. The firmament theory posits that there is a dome over the Earth separating our sky from a large body of water. And according to this theory, space doesn't exist as we know it. This dome, according to them, supposedly explains why a fish-like object could appear in the clouds. While that does sound interesting, some believe this is merely a projection from the Blue Beam Project. If you are new here, it's a conspiracy theory suggesting that certain images can be projected into the sky to create illusions. Skeptics, on the other hand, have their explanations. A sect of them argue that this is simply a shadow or a trick of the light, whereas others think it might be a blimp. Someone shared a video online claiming to have captured footage of Bigfoot. The creature in question appeared to be hairy with red glowing eyes and white fur. However, the face looked too off to fit the typical description of Bigfoot, causing skepticism among viewers. Most people who saw the footage weren't convinced it was genuine. The consensus was that it looked more like a person in a costume than an actual paranormal creature. The odd facial features and the overall appearance led many to believe it was a hoax. What do you think? Could this be a genuine sighting of Bigfoot, or is it just another clever costume designed to fool viewers? Next, we have something that we can barely explain despite everything we have seen on this channel. We'll let you have a look for yourself. The footage starts off casually with a man trying to lift the face of a creature from the dark brown water. Given the color of the water, you may be tempted to suspect it's a catfish, but once the creature's face is raised out of the water, what we met with is unlike any creature we have ever seen. It looks like what would happen if a dolphin and a gator had a baby, but you and I know that's just not physically and biologically possible. Someone mentioned it might be a beaked whale, and we did the research. Although there might be some semblances, we don't think that that's what this is. The murky water raises questions. Is it simply muddy, or could toxic waste in the water be causing mutations in creatures? In today's world, such scenarios aren't impossible, are they? Well, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts, because frankly, we're just lost about this. Would you drive through the woods with friends and family late at night seeking a thrill? If you said yes, then clearly you haven't seen this next footage I'm about to show you. The footage starts off with a woman screaming, and that's never a good sign. As the woman screams, we see a hooded being in front of the car staring at them. The stare is all sorts of evil and eerie. Aside from her, we see that the windshield of the vehicle is broken, which means that the occupants of the car most likely ran into whatever was staring them down. How is it still standing, though? Are they screaming because they thought they killed the being in the hood? If that were the case, they would have gotten down to see how whoever it was doing. They remain in the vehicle, however, and a few seconds, whatever that being is, jumps onto the hood of the car. Clearly, it's fine, and you don't need to be a psychic to know that that's definitely not normal. It's almost like a scene from a horror movie. But if it's not human, and if getting knocked down by the car was not enough to hurt or kill it even after the windshield of the car had been cracked, what do you think we're dealing with here? A shapeshifter? A skinwalker? The Grim Reaper? What exactly? Share your thoughts in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. A homeowner shared this intriguing footage online. Their motion sensor security camera went off one morning around 9 a.m., and when they went out to check what it was, this is what they found. There was a luminous entity on the small pool in their backyard. According to the homeowner, it wasn't a reflection of the sun, but some sort of glowing creature moving on the water's surface. One commenter suggested that this could be a portal, as water is often considered a good conduit for various beings to transport. And while that definitely sounds very interesting, there were some who were skeptical. Take this individual, for instance. She really believed it was the reflection of the sun, and she had salient points to back up her claim. But if there's anything I've learned in my few years of doing this, is that things aren't always what they seem to be, or not to be. What do you guys think, though? Kindly share your thoughts. Next, we got another clip that fits the category of the strange and bizarre. Take a look. For context, this was captured by a young man on his family's property. It was supposed to be a night like any other when strange things started to happen. There was just this uneasiness in the atmosphere that he was not alone. Being the curious person that he is, he stepped out to take a look. Perhaps just to confirm it was all in his mind. When he stepped out, though, he realized he was out of his mind. He'd potentially put himself in harm's way because there was actually something out there. He frantically moves around trying to make sure he's safe, and the video ends shortly after. The question on everyone's mind is, what was that, and is the young lad safe? It turns out he's actually because the clip couldn't have been uploaded otherwise. Everyone is convinced that he encountered an alien, and I can understand why they think that. The clip is so dark that it could be anything. This happened somewhere in America, which led one member of one of these paranormal platforms to ask the all-important question: why are these things typically common in America? I thought about it for a second, and this crazy idea came to me. If there are aliens out there, perhaps they've done their research and watched a lot of Earth movies. If they have, then they have seen that America always saves the world in these movies. If I were an alien doing research, I would certainly like to check out my biggest potential threat. What do you guys think? Here we have a peculiar reptilian creature emerging from the depths of a river, although calling it a traditional reptile seems a tad too simplistic. Take a closer look at this alligator-like beast and you'll notice some distinct oddities. Its tail, for instance, is exceptionally thick and its front end appears significantly shorter than the rear. This unusual gator seems to be moving horizontally, propelled by the sheer power of the robust tail. Indeed, it's a sight that's both strange and, dare I say, a tad freaky. Could this be a mere quirk of nature, a defect in an otherwise familiar species like the alligator, or might we be witnessing the emergence of an entirely new and intriguing creature, as yet undiscovered by science? The natural world never ceases to amaze us, and this is just one more piece in the grand puzzle of our planet's biodiversity. This image has been a mystery ever since it surfaced on the internet. At first glance, we see a dug-up hole, a rather mundane sight, but it's what lies beyond that piques our curiosity. Further down the frame, there's a peculiar blurry figure. Now, the intrigue deepens. It could be one of two things: a swift culprit fleeing the scene, hence the blurriness, or it might just be something altogether different, an enigmatic entity, if you will. The possibilities here are as varied as they are puzzling. Is it a creature making a quick escape from its excavation project, leaving behind a tantalizing blur? Or could it be the ethereal form of something beyond our earthly comprehension? You tell us. A couple in China recently went apartment hunting and found a surprisingly affordable option in a multi-story building. As they toured the available room, they were shocked to discover a huge gap between the bed and the windows, which extended down to the ground floor. It turned out that all the apartments in the building had the same gaping holes. This hazardous design poses a significant risk. If someone were to walk in their sleep or miss a step in the middle of the night, the consequences could be fatal. Despite the affordability of the apartment, the couple were understandably concerned about the safety implications. Would you consider living in such a place given the affordability, or is the safety risk too great? Encountering strange objects in the night sky can be both thrilling and perplexing. One such incident occurred when someone was driving near a forest one night and spotted the edge of a round-looking craft hovering above the trees. The full craft was not in view though, just a little bit to give it that mysterious and otherworldly feel, if you know what I mean. What made this sighting even more intriguing were the lights on the craft, which changed colors intermittently. When the footage of this encounter was shared online, it sparked a flurry of debate. Some viewers speculated that the object could simply be a drone, while others leaned towards a more extraterrestrial explanation, suggesting it might be an unidentified flying object. Then there were some who thought it was fake. The last thing they expected from an alien ship was to have an RGB lighting system. But then again, we can't really dismiss anything till we have enough proof. Can we? Anyway, what's your take on this? Do you think it's just a drone, or could it possibly be something more mysterious like a UFO? You tell me.
Sewage treatment plant behind us takes in the waste of 500,000 people, and when it can't cope with it, it chucks it straight out here. And in the marine life just beneath our feet, we're actually finding they're full of drugs. They're full of contraceptive pill, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. Every single marine species that we've looked at so far is full of cocaine.
Recent findings from Langston, UK have revealed a concerning discovery. Experts conducting a series of tests on the fish found that they were all contaminated with cocaine. It's worrisome that all the marine life in the area, including the fish, have been affected by this issue. The root of the problem lies in the sewer that disposes of waste into the water bodies. Somehow, drugs are being transported in large quantities through the sewer, which is then concentrated in the water. The excessive presence of drugs in the water has led to the contamination of the entire marine ecosystem. This poses a serious threat to human health as well. One cannot help but wonder about the consequences of consuming the contaminated fish. The possibility of harmful effects on human health is high and something that must be taken seriously. I tried to find this interview on mainstream news outlets and discovered other news articles which had similar information in the UK alone. This issue highlights the need for better waste management. As serious as the situation is, it was funny to find some jokes from some who watched the video. It's funny, but maybe they have a point, wouldn't you agree?
Sampling these marine species, and you're finding that what's in the sewage water ends up in those species.
Yeah, exactly. The drugs affect this wildlife in the same way that they do us.
Our next footage takes us all the way to Mexico, where some residents captured something rather odd and peculiar in their streets. The footage introduces us to a nighttime in the neighborhood. All things being equal, the streets should be quiet and empty. In the beginning, it appears that way, but take a closer look and you'll realize that there are two tiny creatures on the side of the road. One crosses to the opposite side and the other follows. At first, I thought they were little children, but I feel they're too small for that to be the case. Also, those filming won't have been enthused about little children. They're actually very convinced that they have captured a duende. For those unfamiliar with the term, duendes are mythical creatures described as small, gnome-like beings with human features like pointy ears and wrinkled faces. They live in forests, mountains, and even homes. While they're mischievous, they're usually harmless, playing pranks on humans and hiding objects. While it would be nice to confidently state these are duendes, there's not a lot to go on over here. You guys see the clips too, so what do you think? Do you know what an obsidian blade is? No? Well, today's your lucky day. Take a look. This blade is known as an obsidian blade. It's the sharpest blade in the world, crafted from volcanic glass or lava. Believe it or not, their incredible sharpness far surpasses that of traditional steel scalpels. The edge of an obsidian blade can be just a few molecules thick, allowing it to cut with astonishing precision. Given these features, they're highly valued not only by archaeologists and historians for their historical significance, but also by modern surgeons for certain delicate surgical procedures. Imagine wielding a blade so sharp it can split cells without crushing them. That's the power of the obsidian blade. Isn't it interesting how this ancient technology, honed by civilization like the Aztecs and Mayans, continues to find relevance in today's world? What is that? It definitely doesn't look like any sort of creatures that we're used to seeing, right? So what are we dealing with here? Well, it's online because the people who posted it didn't know what it was either. This was recorded somewhere in China. The creature was spotted by one of the colleagues of the one filming. They initially thought it was a crocodile, but after considering the thought for a while, they realized that would have been virtually impossible given their location. Crocs don't exactly live there. When they got close enough to take a look, they realized that the creature could easily pass for a croc, eel, or maybe a long shot, a sea snake, depending on where you're standing, of course. The bizarre thing, however, was that the creature was none of these things, necessitating them to upload it in the hopes of getting answers. Now, I've seen it, and I must say, it is confusing. Unfortunately, Julius, our science whiz, has gone on one of those science expeditions for the greater good and is without cell service there. Basically, all I'm trying to say is, I don't know what this is, and I can't confirm if it's real or not. Can you? In this video clip, an unidentified individual armed with a camera descends the staircase, capturing a dark figure seated in an armchair. The living room is made up of a television on its stand and a few armchairs. As the recorder moves closer, the dark shadow figure suddenly stands up, walks forward without turning, and then vanishes into thin air, revealing a dark humanoid figure resembling a female. The individual filming searches for the intruding presence, moving the camera around and exploring other parts of the house, but finds nothing. What do you think that presence was, and do you think there is a possible reason it was there? Tell us in the comments section. Oh, the allure of venturing into the woods when the night has fallen, a choice that's not for the faint of heart. This time, our tale takes us to a gentleman who had an unexpected encounter with a dark and mysterious figure deep within the forest. Now, let me preface this by saying that I wouldn't be out in the woods at that hour. And if I were, the moment I laid eyes on this particular figure, I'd likely be sprinting in the opposite direction. Why, you ask? Well, because this footage, my friends, is the stuff that sends shivers down your spine. In the eerie glow of the night, there it is, a creature perched behind a tree, obscured by the inky blackness of its fur. It's an image that unmistakably brings to mind the legendary Bigfoot, an enigma that continues to baffle and fascinate us. Indeed, it's a truly strange sight that's capable of upsetting anyone. Take a second look at the whole thing. Do you think we're dealing with Bigfoot or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments section. These men came across a hole in the tunnel, and one of them decided to throw something into the hole. What happened next was terrifying. Did you catch that? A large, dark creature began creeping out of the hole. In a panic, the men quickly used a large stone to cover the hole before the creature could fully crawl out. As you can see from the footage, it took significant effort for both men to keep the creature at bay. The strength and persistence they displayed indicated that whatever was down there was powerful and determined to get out. But what could that be? Some speculate that it might be an unknown subterranean creature, possibly a cryptid, or even something out of a horror movie. Others believe it could be a displaced animal, although its size and the men's struggles suggest otherwise. The mystery remains unsolved, but the footage leaves an unsettling impression of what might be lurking beneath the surface. Unless, of course, it's fake, but don't mind me, it's just the skepticism talking. What are your thoughts on this eerie encounter? Bizarre looking, right? It's got an otherworldly glow and feel to it, so much so that it's almost unreal and unbelievable. What you were seeing was allegedly recorded by someone on one of the paranormal platforms and sent to the admin of the page anonymously. He claims this is real and he'd seen and recorded it with his own eyes, but didn't want to come forward for fear of being targeted by the government and what have you. Once the admin of the page made this known to us, various comments and theories started to fly around. Some thought the possibility of it being real was slim, but not impossible. Others also thought it had to have been digitally created. As the debate raged on, someone pointed out that the object or supposed alien ship looked eerily similar to Atari's Asteroids game. Another mentioned Space Invaders. If you're young and don't really know what those names represent, they were popular games from the early days that you should definitely try. Now, could this have indeed been digitally created using those games as inspiration and building blocks, or were the creators of those games trying to communicate something that they'd seen to us in encrypted form by developing those games? Or is it really nothing more than a poor attempt to mislead us? Hard to say, but share your thoughts. Now, if the idea of a zombie apocalypse didn't spook you, maybe this would. Imagine walking through an underground parking lot alone and coming across this, a road divider dragging itself across the floor. Seeing it reminds me of the video games where ghosts hide in everyday furniture and items to avoid detection.
Mira, coche tu madre. Lo vine acá a otro lado ahora, pues, weón. No, hijo de la perra.
How's this possible? Well, we can't say. While some in the original post wanted to believe it was nothing more than a prank, a number of them believed that there was some kind of supernatural force at work here. Having seen the clip yourself, what do you think might be the explanation for the situation here?
Lo vine acá a otro lado ahora, pues, weón. No, hijo de la perra.
Show you something that I don't know how to explain at all. Either the government is building something insane or this is aliens.
Why, what is it?
You know Google Earth, right?
Yeah.
Do you have Google Earth on your phone?
Probably not, but I'm probably just gonna Google them.
Okay, well, I will do it on my phone real quick.
Yeah, Google
and I
Earth
will
on your
show you.
phone?
Yes.
I came across this interesting video on the various paranormal platforms on the internet. It's about a set of mysterious coordinates that led to some peculiar findings on Google Earth. Curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to investigate further. Inputting them into Google Earth led me to a desolate, sandy location which had an unusual object in the middle of it. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it appears to be guarded by military tanks. This piqued my interest even more, and I started to probe the internet trying to find out what it was. Some who had seen it stated that it was a black hole that goes deep into the ground. They also added that on the opposite side of the hole is the same shaped object on the sand. There were some who also stated it was a military base and nothing more. An example is this user here who stated it's a training camp that uses tanks as targets when they practice targets for airstrikes. This user, who apparently lived there for a while, supported the claim. There were some who thought it also looked too much like a spaceship to be anything otherwise. So now we have three hypotheses: portal, military base, and alien ship. Which do you think is more plausible? The Tesla company has been doing well in coming up with a lot of innovative tech like robots and even their self-driving cars. Recently, however, a Tesla car owner was in a life-threatening situation. According to him, his driving car could not detect a train ahead, which almost led to a collision. This is where the skeptics against the whole self-driving car jumped out with the "I told you so" card. Perhaps this could be a sign that giving AI control is not the best, but it looks like we're still going on with plans. This will definitely be treated as an obstacle in the pursuit of greatness. At the time of filming the video, Tesla is yet to make an official statement concerning the situation. But what do you think? Is the push to an AI and tech-controlled future the right course, or should we slow down or stop it altogether? Share your thoughts. I'm not exactly sure what to make of this, but this certainly doesn't look right. You guys see a chicken with crab legs too, right? Could it be some sort of hybrid with spliced DNA or surgically altered limbs? At first glance, it's hard to be certain, but after seeing this clip on many paranormal pages and platforms, you start to notice a few things. For instance, there's a noticeable blur beneath the chicken that's definitely not normal. Aside from that, there's also some sort of lag or delay in its movements, which makes the clip look like it's been digitally manipulated or edited in a way. I was not the only one to notice this, as the subsequent pages where it was posted had individuals calling these inconsistencies out. Take these, for instance. While everyone was calling out the obvious, another user confirmed everyone's suspicions. This was indeed footage of a regular chicken that had been edited to create this hybrid, or as this user loved to call it, hybrid. Stepping away from the fact that this is obviously fake, would you love to see a creature that's somewhat the hybrid of a chicken and a crab, like what's on your screen? Let us know in the comments section. You don't always see an ape stare at a human like this. Perhaps it's not one you ever imagined or thought of, but there it is. What do you think is going on in the mind of this ape as it stares strangely at the reporter? Is it harboring good thoughts or perhaps something a bit more ominous? Judging solely by its facial expression, one might indeed feel a touch of trepidation. The eyes, after all, are known to be windows to the soul, or in this case, to the thoughts within. As for its current circumstances, being taken out of its natural habitat and confined to a makeshift home, one could imagine that this fellow might harbor some rather strong opinions about the matter. The desire for freedom, perhaps, or the wish to retire from the life of the zoo. It's a poignant reminder of the complexities involved in keeping wildlife in captivity. A day of carefree fun turned into a spine-tingling moment of fear for this group of kids. As they frolicked on a field with one of them recording the merriment, little did they know that an eerie surprise was creeping their way. Right there, on the horizon, a strange creature began to crawl towards them. The moment they caught sight of it, sheer terror gripped their heart and their joyful shouts turned into panic screams. It's a reaction that's palpable even through the screen. Now, when we zoom in on the footage, the question lingers. What in the world could that be? Skeptics have offered their 2 cents, suggesting it might be a hoax, especially because the dog in the video appears strangely unfazed by the creature. After all, dogs tend to be quite vigilant and reactive in such situations. But here lies the enigma. Was this merely a group of kids playing an elaborate prank, or did they unwittingly capture genuine footage of something truly bizarre? Tell us what you think. That brings us to our next mystery. This was captured by a group of individuals who were exploring the woods and taking photos. It was through this adventure that they noticed something strange under a tree ahead of them. Curiosity got the better of them, and they cautiously approached the area. When they got closer, this is what they saw staring at them from the cover of the foliage. The creature was about 7 feet tall, with broad shoulders covered in fur, except for its shoulders and face, which were visible. His first thought was that it might be a bear, but when you look closely, you realize that this was not a bear, but rather a humanoid with a longer snout and pointed ears on its head. Fascinated and terrified, they took a picture as fast as they could and ran out of the area. Once they were home, they took the best-looking picture, which is what you see, and uploaded it. Everyone who saw it was convinced that it might be an actual dogman or potentially a werewolf. Looking at the image, I get why they might think that. The beast certainly has features that are befitting the description of the dogman, but due to the blurry nature of the footage, we can't fully confirm. Some say the blurred image is proof that it's fake, but could also be proof that this is real since, according to their story, they had to quickly take the picture and run out. If that alibi is to be believed, then it could have resulted in a blurry image like you see. But then again, this is the internet, so anything is possible. Imagine taking a stroll by the beach, enjoying the sea breeze through your hair and the wet sand under your feet. Suddenly, you come across a peculiar stone on the shore. Upon closer inspection, you realize that it's shaped like a face. What do you do in such a situation? Well, the person who came across this stone decided to touch it. The stone, however, came to life and snapped at the person's finger, after which it quickly sank back into the sea. Strange? Well, not really, especially if you know what this stone-faced thing truly is. It's apparently called a reef stonefish, and it's the most venomous fish. The reef stonefish is found in the shallow coastal waters of the Indo-Pacific region, particularly around coral reefs. It's known for its remarkable camouflage, blending in seamlessly with its surroundings due to its rough, wart-like skin and coloration resembling rocks or coral. Despite its unassuming appearance, the reef stonefish possesses potent venomous spines along its dorsal fin. These aren't just for decoration, as they're capable of delivering a painful and potentially lethal sting to unsuspecting predators or humans who accidentally step on it. The venom can cause excruciating pain, tissue damage, and in severe cases, paralysis or even death if not treated promptly. Reef stonefish are primarily ambush predators, lying in wait on the seafloor for prey to pass by before striking with lightning speed. Perhaps that might explain how it patiently waited for the young lad to get closer than launch. Someone in the comments section even asked what he expected. If there's a lesson to be learned here, it's that to not pick up any strange-looking stone at the beach, especially if you can't confirm if it's really a stone. As the days roll on, it seems the line between reality and mystery becomes ever more elusive. Let's delve into this rather perplexing situation captured by a vigilant driver. As he cruises down the road, his attention is drawn to something utterly bizarre: a burning bush. Naturally, he decides to halt and investigate, but here's where things get curious. As he steps away from the car window and moves closer to the bush, the flames seem to vanish into thin air. Poof! Just like that. Now, this is where the mystery deepens. He repeats this experiment several times, and each time the burning bush behaves as though it were an illusion. The burning, it's there, but then it's not. So what in the world could be happening here? Is it some kind of glitch in the Matrix, a cleverly orchestrated hoax, or perhaps something that transcends the boundaries of human comprehension? Tell us what you think it is. A peculiar figure was recently observed appearing to traverse a metallic structure under the guidance of an illuminating source, all captured during the cover of the night. While the precise location remains shrouded in uncertainty, the setting bears a striking resemblance to a backyard encircled by thick clusters of trees. This enigmatic entity takes on a humanoid form, distinctly discernible throughout its movement. However, its head defies convention, resembling an oversized light bulb affixed to its body. In an abrupt pause, it turns its attention toward the recorder, who could be heard inquiring about the purpose of this mysterious being. Could this be yet another instance in the ever-enigmatic world of cryptids? You tell us. Do you believe in the existence of ghosts? This is a question that has puzzled many for centuries. In those centuries, different individuals have come up with varying answers. Some believe that after we die, there might be a spirit version of ourselves that roams the earth when we have unfinished business. People share stories of seeing their loved ones after they've passed away, and some even report having encounters with other spirits. Recently, a surveillance camera captured something strange and inexplicable. In the footage, we see a man wearing a black jacket with pants walking down a deserted street. He seems to be holding something in his hands, and initially there's nothing out of the ordinary. However, as the footage progresses, it begins to get grainy and the man appears to be fading away. Within a matter of seconds, he vanishes into thin air. Could this be evidence of the existence of ghosts? While there's a possibility of this being edited footage, it's also worth considering the possibility that the man in the video could be a wandering soul unable to rest until his unfinished business is complete. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the fascination and intrigue that surrounds the concept of life after death. Perhaps someday we'll find concrete evidence of what happens to us after we die, but until then, we can only speculate and wonder. The forest is a place of natural beauty and is home to a wide variety of flora and fauna. However, in recent times, people have reported seeing unusual and mysterious creatures lurking in the woods. These sightings make you question the existence of paranormal entities and even extraterrestrial life in our forests. Take this footage, for instance. A person was walking home through the forest when they spotted something moving in the darkness up ahead. As the creature emerged into the light, the person was left in awe. The creature was pure white, crouched on the ground, and had jet black eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. The creature moved slowly, almost deliberately, and stared directly into the camera, as if it knew it was being filmed. What kind of creature was it? The one filming wasn't sure, and neither am I. It's certainly not an animal that we're familiar with, but its appearance and behavior were eerily humanoid yet animalistic. Many who saw the clip refused to believe this was an actual creature. One even mentioned that it looked like a Halloween costume he got for his daughter. We combed the internet trying to find evidence of the creature but found nothing. This does little to add to the skepticism and mystery surrounding the post. What do you guys think? In it, we see a paranormal enthusiast who was live streaming his stroll through Elms Grove Estates. As he ventured forth, he suddenly felt an eerie presence lingering behind him. You know, that unmistakable sensation of being watched. So without a second thought, he turned his camera to capture whatever might be lurking in the shadows, and what he discovered sent a shiver down his spine. There, concealed in the underbrush, was a creature, not your typical wildlife, but something otherworldly. The gentleman entertains the notion that it could be a skinwalker or even a dogman, and honestly, it's not an entirely far-fetched idea. The figure certainly has a human-like stance, but when you examine its upper half, it becomes abundantly clear that this is no ordinary human. Unless, of course, there's someone with a penchant for lurking in the bushes, indulging in a little late-night stalking. But given the circumstances, our team tends to lean toward the possibility that this man found himself in the presence of a paranormal entity. What about you? What do you think? As we delve into our next uncanny video filmed in the dead of night, brace yourself for an unexpected twist. A luminous white light materializes out of nowhere. Upon closer scrutiny, this enigmatic apparition appears to possess legs and outstretched arms, striking a pose reminiscent of superheroes and villains taking off into the night sky. That's if you can call it that. Is this an omen, a harbinger of world-altering events? Could it be an angelic presence? And if so, why does it choose the Shroud of Darkness for its appearance? I invite you, our astute viewers, to share your speculations and insights in the comment section below. This mystery of the night awaits your discerning interpretations. Wendy Wilson, a keen explorer and photographer, shared some fascinating pictures of a Bigfoot she encountered. The images, although blurry, introduced to us an ape-like creature. It appears to be hiding behind something metallic and looking at the trail camera. Naturally, this has Bigfoot enthusiasts excited, and I can understand why. Every potential picture of the big guy brings us close to locating him and solving the mystery surrounding him. Although the location hasn't been revealed, many were excited to see this. There were those who were naturally skeptical, not because they didn't necessarily think Bigfoot was real, but because this image was supposedly taken by a professional photographer. They argued that such a person should have powerful lenses and capable editing software to make the image visible, but that's not the case here. This makes them think the image might be one of those recycled ones from the internet. But do tell us what you think in the comments section, as we'd love to hear your take. The sight that the truck driver captured on camera in Richmond, Virginia is truly breathtaking. The tunnel of clouds in the sky appears to be set ablaze by an intense orange glow, creating a mesmerizing spectacle that's not commonly seen. The truck driver was so captivated by the sight that he stopped his vehicle and got out to film it. Once this hit the internet, many theories came up, with some believing it was the sign of a bad omen. There were some like this user who even thought that it had to be weaponized clouds. I mean, if it were your first time seeing something like this, there's a high probability that you might think the same. There were some also who thought it was a beautiful sight. I can see why these individuals think that. I did some research and realized that this is likely a type of cloud often referred to as a roll cloud. For those unfamiliar with them, roll clouds are formed when a cold air mass meets a warm front and creates a horizontal cylinder of air. As the cylinder of air moves forward, it creates a rolling effect, hence the name roll cloud. These clouds are typically found in coastal areas and are often associated with thunderstorms, although they're not themselves storm clouds. In this case, it's possible that the roll cloud was illuminated by the setting sun, creating the orange glow seen in the footage. The combination of the rolling effect and the fiery coloration makes for a truly stunning natural display that is sure to leave any viewer in awe. I returned to the comments section of the post and found comments like these affirming the hypothesis. Interesting, don't you think? In this video clip, an unknown person behind a red, black and white jet ski captures a life-changing moment. A sudden explosion on a waterborne structure while dangling waist down in the water. The explosion doesn't just impact one part of the structure, it spreads across both the water and the structure itself, creating a mix of colors from orange to red accompanied by smoke. This makes the recorder jump abruptly in search of cover in the water. Perhaps he didn't jump and was simply thrown off by the sheer force of the explosion. It's beyond frightening. What do you think could have caused this unfortunate event? Does anyone know where it happened? Were there losses of lives, including marine life? Please educate us in the comments section. Let's take a look at a hiking trip that truly etches itself into the annals of one's life. This particular adventure was embarked upon by a group of students, and little did they know they were in for an encounter they'd be discussing for years to come. As they journeyed through the wilderness, they happened upon a trail that led them to a part of the woods that seemed to carry an air of mystery. Why, you might ask? Well, it was there, high upon a mountain nearby, that they spotted a figure making its way downhill. Now, what made this figure truly remarkable was the fact that, despite walking on two legs, it possessed features that quite simply ruled out the possibility of it being human. For starters, it appeared rather substantial in size, definitely larger than your average person. And if you were to zoom in on the footage, you'd notice something rather peculiar, what seemed to be hair or perhaps fur covering its body. So, Bigfoot? Well, obviously. As you can well imagine, this enigmatic encounter left the students in a state of fascination and wonder. No doubt they must regale the tale of this extraordinary sighting whenever they gather, forever etching it into the folklore of their lives. Everyone has accepted it as a Bigfoot, and we have too. What about you? In this video footage, someone can be seen cutting a tree branch, which causes it to bleed. The concept of bleeding trees is a fascinating aspect of folklore and mythology that can be found in various cultures around the world. For some cultures, these trees are sacred and believed to possess spiritual powers or serve as places for religious rituals. Many people view the bleeding as messages from gods or spirits, conveying warnings or guidance. In contrast, other stories link bleeding trees to tragedies or divine punishments. There are even legends that mention individuals cursed by the gods whose actions have an effect on nature, aka cause these trees to bleed as a consequence of their wrongdoing. There are some cultures who also believe that it's a sign of miraculous healing or fertility. According to some legends, contact with the bleeding sap of these trees can cure illnesses or grant fertility, among other things. While the idea of bleeding trees may seem mystical, in the modern age an explanation has been discovered. The bleeding tree shown in the video is a bloodwood tree, scientifically known as Pterocarpus angolensis. This type of tree is native to southern Africa and can be found in countries such as Angola, Namibia, and Botswana. The tree gets its name from the unique reddish sap which resembles blood. The bloodwood tree is prized for its strong, durable wood, which is used for making furniture, building, and traditional medicine. The bleeding that occurs is the natural fluid that the tree produces, and not actual blood. That's a relief, huh? Fire is a phenomenon that has both positive and negative effects. While it can be destructive, it is necessary for several reasons, such as cooking, heating, and even providing light. There are, however, some strange occurrences associated with fire that can be difficult to explain. One such occurrence is the fire whirl, also known as a fire tornado or fire devil. A fire whirl is a spinning column of flames that forms during a fire, often in wildfires or large fires when hot air rises rapidly, creating a spinning motion. These whirlwinds can be small or large, resembling tornadoes. In an intriguing incident captured on video, a tornado of fire can be seen forming at the center of burning garbage. This whirlwind of flames is a fascinating sight to behold, despite its destructive nature. When it comes to wildfires, fire whirls can become more dangerous, causing severe damage to anything in their path. Another strange incident captured on camera was the sight of tubes of fire moving through a forest fire, making it appear as though the fire was walking. However, this is a common phenomenon that occurs during a forest fire. In this next clip, however, a clump of fire in someone's hallway flies upwards and downwards, seemingly almost possessed. This I would consider more of a paranormal situation. What do you think? The age-old fascination with the mysteries and unexplained continues even with this footage. In this footage captured in La Blanca, we are presented with a sight that's as perplexing as it is grand. As we gaze upon the scene, we're greeted by the sight of a colossal figure ascending a mountain. Its size alone, when viewed from this distance, is enough to let you know it's no small creature. Yet, here's the twist. It's a being so peculiar and elusive that it has left even the most inquisitive minds in a state of bewilderment. Could this be the stuff of legends, the Nephilim as mentioned in ancient texts like the Bible, or might it be something unique, something that escapes the boundaries of our known world? The enigma shrouding this entity adds yet another layer to the tapestry of unexplained phenomena that continues to intrigue and challenge our understanding of the world. Don't you think so? If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode. In this video clip, an unknown person captures a figure atop the tallest tree in a grove of lush green trees. This figure is black in appearance, and the outline of the tree is clearly female. By the looks, she's also a grown woman. She appears to be completely fearless, perched atop the tallest tree in the area. But why? And how did she even get there? Is she really human, or just a skinwalker posing as a woman who could care less about being seen by the rest of the world? Tell us what you think. Over the years, science and tech have improved and provided us with various inventions to make life easier for us. Take a look at a recent invention called Xenobots, which have been hailed as a significant breakthrough in the field of robotics and bioengineering. These are living robots, and they're the first of their kind in the world. They are made entirely from frog cells. They were developed using a combination of living cells and artificial intelligence algorithms by researchers at the University of Vermont and Tufts University in 2020. They're designed to perform specific tasks, such as transporting medicine within the body or cleaning up environmental pollution. Their creation opens up new possibilities in a variety of fields. It's fascinating to see the potential of these living robots and how they could make a positive impact on the world. There are some who are, however, concerned about their existence. I understand where these individuals may be coming from, but there's also so much good that can come from an invention like this, don't you think? When the dentist tells you to take care of your oral hygiene, it's not just formality. Sometimes it's to prevent things like this. Yes, this is allegedly someone's gums. It looks like gums are coming apart from the teeth. This is called tooth gum inflammation. Teeth gum inflammation, known as gingivitis or periodontitis, can make your gums look swollen and red like they're coming off. It often comes with other problems like bleeding gums, bad breath, and gums moving away from your teeth. Gingivitis usually happens because of not taking good care of your teeth, which lets plaque and bacteria build up along your gum line. If you don't treat gingivitis, it can turn into periodontitis, which is worse and can harm your gums, teeth, and bones. It's important to see a dentist if you noticed your gums are swollen to stop any more problems and keep your mouth healthy. Now, you know there is no mystery without a Bigfoot sighting. The classic intrigue of the creature lurking amongst the trees, a scene that invariably summons thoughts of the legendary Bigfoot. Here we see a group of creatures that bear a resemblance to the enigmatic Bigfoot. But hold on, these appear decidedly smaller than the towering behemoths often associated with Bigfoot lore. Now this gives us room for speculation. Are these simply apes, perhaps a known species like chimpanzee or gorillas roaming the woods, or could they be something altogether different? Juvenile Bigfoots in the making, exploring the world and learning the ways of their elusive kind. It's a tantalizing enigma that keeps us guessing. What say you? The intrigue of cryptids and their elusive nature continues to captivate. Let's dive into this peculiar footage that emerged on Instagram, courtesy of the user TheMovieGuy11 back in March of this year. The story unfolds with the claim that the footage initially captured two creatures in the distance along Yellowstone Creek. The first impression was that these were perhaps two bears taking a stroll. However, upon closer scrutiny, the plot thickened. Upon careful examination, it became clear that the pace and the sheer amount of ground these creatures covered couldn't possibly match that of even the speediest bear. This observation led to the compelling belief that what had been captured was, in fact, a sighting of Bigfoot. When you take a closer look at the size and picture of these mysterious beings, the image becomes even more enigmatic. They appear huge and are seemingly moving about on 2 feet, adding to the intrigue. Once the footage hit the internet, the response was nothing short of intriguing itself. A significant portion of viewers joined the chorus, believing that what they were witnessing was indeed Bigfoot. This notion isn't too surprising, given that Yellowstone Creek is a known hotspot for Bigfoot sightings, adding an extra layer of mystery to this already puzzling encounter. A man takes a video of how he gets to his room when he gets home. It's not clear if he lives in a house or an apartment, but the turns and stairs he has to take make it look like a journey of doom. Take a look at what I'm talking about.
Oh shit.
I'm here.
The path he navigates is like something out of our horror movie. Dimly lit hallways, creaky stairs, and narrow passages. Each step seems to lead deeper into a labyrinth. You can almost feel the tension as he moves through the shadows, the anticipation building with every twist and turn. When he finally reaches his destination, his room is very small. Just look at how confined the space is. The eerie walk to get there and the cramped quarters make it feel like he's living in a nightmare.
I'm here.
And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us by classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.